Another Saturday afternoon of topsy-turvy football led to a thriller last week in Mayville. After a 14-0 Jamestown lead, Mayville State came back to tie with just over 6 minutes to play. The Jimmy offense at that point had been struggling for a while, but John Grand combined with Isaiah Ropa for a big spark.
3rd and 13 from their 27. Hoffman's to the left as well. 4 receivers set. Grand throws right. Caught. Roebuck 40. Midfield breaks away. 40. 30 of Mayville State. Bye, baby. Touchdown, Jamestown. Isaiah Roebuck broke away from everybody for a 73-yard score. No flags. No help from the secondary. The Jimmies are back in the lead.
Minutes earlier, Roebuck had muffed a punt to set up Mayville State deep in Jamestown territory.
It felt surreal, honestly. I got a chance to make up for something that I did, and it feels so good, honestly.
So the Jimmies have a winning streak thanks to continued determination and a most steadfast defense. Today, that streak is on the line against a team going for yet another outright conference championship. It's Jamestown and Dickinson State at Hanson Stadium. Next on Jamestown 107.1.
Jamestown Jimmies football is brought to you by Creative Energy and Dan Superstop, Dakota Central, Hugo's Family Marketplace, Otter Tail Power Company, Professional Eye Care Centers, The Frontier Ford Grill, Unison Bank, Hillerud Construction, SMP Health Ave Maria, Gun and Reel Sports, Essentia Health, Farmers Union Insurance, Steve Benyon Agent, Jamestown Country Club, Originals, Apex Physical Therapy, Jamestown Parks and Recreation, Johnny B's Brickhouse, Buffalo City Diesel, Vetter Construction, RM Stout, and Pit Stop Express Lube. Now, Jamestown Jimmies football.
Yes, we have seen our share of crazy football this season. What will happen today? A lot of people think it'd be crazy if the Jimmies would pull off an upset of those Dickinson State Bluehawks. Yep, you play the games for a reason, and it's been a long time since the Jimmies have had a winning streak of 3 games. You got to go back 10 years. They had a 4-game winning streak in 2014. It's at 2 right now, but the streak is 9 at Dickinson State for winning NSAA championships. They can make it 10 in a row outright with 1 more win. Raleigh Greeno Field at Charlotte and Gordon Hanson Stadium is a little bit chilled on this first Saturday of November. Temperature in the 30s. Football players like this type of weather, though. It's the Dickinson State Bluehawks and the Jamestown Jimmies. And good afternoon from the University of Jamestown. I'm David Burrell. Thank you for being with us on Jamestown 107.1 and also at newsdakota.com and on the Jamestown 107.1 app and on the Heritage Signal of I3G Media in Jamestown, AM 1400. It's been a fired up, and they're fired up as you can hear Jimmy team right now, but they've been fired up in practice this week, and it's a team that after 2 straight wins, and they say winning cures a lot of problems, but it's a team that has a whole lot more confidence than it had when it started 0-6. But it's a Jimmy team that is now at 2-6. Still trying to get the offense going, although you heard the big play that made the difference, but a defense that continues to play as well as anybody in the league. Well, speaking of a defense that plays well, sure, Dickinson State just have Will Madler, their outstanding quarterback, and some great receivers, but they also have the 4th best defense statistically in the country. So that's what the Jimmies have to face today against a Dickinson State team that has continued to play well. 6-1 with the only loss coming to NCAA Division III Wisconsin Stout early in the season, and 5-0 in the league. And again, it only takes 1 more win for another and the last NSAA conference title for Dickinson State. Yeah, Madler was unbelievable. Will Madler in the game in Dickinson, a college career high, 415 yards that day with 3 touchdowns on 26 of 32. He had some great games at Northern State, but never that number. And he has a talented set of receivers, including Samaj Clark, who really carved up the Jimmies in the game in Dickinson last month. For Jamestown, well, they had a running game going last week, and for the first time in 47 games, a 100-yard rusher, Zach Hammond. It had been 3 years since the Jimmies had a 100-yard rusher before Hammond rushed for his 116 yards and a touchdown last Saturday in that win over Mayville State. The Jimmies did let a 14-0 lead get away, but you heard what happened at the finish. So what'll happen today? Glad you're with us for it on the S&P Health Ave Maria pregame show. Our regular partner BJ Walters is on another assignment this afternoon, but he will be with us later when we have the second half of our football-basketball doubleheader. Looking forward to this. Jimmy men's basketball for the first game for new head coach Casey Brueggemann coming up at Harold Newman Arena against Briarcliff. And we'll have that one not too long after we finish up with Jimmy football here this afternoon. So stay with us for a whole lot. And stay tuned for a lot here on our S&P Health Ave Maria pregame, including a look at what's happening in the NSAA and the NSIC. And BJ visits with Dickinson State head coach and athletic director Pete Stanton. And, of course, our pregame visit, too, with Jimmy's head coach Brian Mistro. Chilly day, but it's football weather. It's at Hanson Stadium, and it's Jamestown and Dickinson State. More ahead on Jamestown 107.1. This is the voice of the Jimmies.
At Essentia Health, we know that together we can live healthier. We also know that the best way to protect yourself and your loved ones is to get vaccinated. That's why Essentia Health encourages everyone to get a flu shot this fall. Flu season usually starts in October and can last until May, so it's important to get vaccinated early. Vaccines are covered by most insurances and are available for people 6 months of age and older. Schedule your flu shot online today at essentiahealth.org/flu or call your local Essentia Health clinic or pharmacy to learn more.
It's the S&P Health Ave Maria pregame at Hanson Stadium, Jamestown and Dickinson State this afternoon. And let's take a moment to look at what's happening in NSAA football. 2 of the 3 weekly players of the week are from the Jimmies. The offensive player of the week is Zach Hammond with that big rushing game, 116 yards in the victory at Mayville State. And Ezra Bellengary wins the defensive player of the week honor for the second week in a row. He had a 39-yard interception return last Saturday in Mayville. He also had that fumble recovery late in the game and also 8 tackles. The special teams player of the week is Dakota State's fine place kicker Carson Sauceda in the Trojans win against BCSU 13-6 in a very windy day. Had a big field goal, 19 yards to make it 13-6. He also kicked a 26-yard field goal and made an extra point. So the standings in the NSAA, as we've told you, Dickinson State is 6-0, wins the NSAA title with only one more win for the 10th year in a row. Dakota State and Mayville State are both 3-3. Then it's the Jimmies at 2-4, and VCSU is at 1-4. And the other conference game today is going on in Valley City with VCSU hosting Mayville State. A look at the NSIC, the Jimmy's Future Conference. There is a new leader after Augustana's Vikings went to Mankato and knocked off Minnesota State. Mankato last Saturday, 34-16. Augustana now has a 1/2 game lead in the NSIC over Sioux Falls, who came up with a big win over Wayne State. Augustana is 6-1, Sioux Falls 6-2. Then it's Minnesota State and Wayne State at 5-2. Northern State is at 5-3. Minnesota State still in the top 25 at number 13 in the NCAA 82 ranking. Augustana into the poll at number 25. In Sioux Falls this afternoon, Augustana is hosting Concordia St. Paul. This is the bye week for Sioux Falls. Minnesota State trying to rebound. They are playing Northern State this afternoon in Aberdeen. For Wayne State, well, they're at Bemidji State today with MSU Moorhead at Minot State, Minnesota Duluth at Winona State, and also UMary is playing Southwest Minnesota State. That's what's happening today in the NSIC. And we'll keep you updated on scores as the afternoon continues. The S&P Health Ave Maria pregame show at Hanson Stadium. It's Jamestown and Dickinson State. And as we mentioned, BJ not with us today, but you will hear from BJ Walters next as he visits with Dickinson State head coach and athletic director Pete Stanton on Jamestown 107.1. This is the voice of the Jimmies.
Johnny B's Brick House, famous for their pizza, but wait, there's pasta, and their amazing wings, and fresh ground hamburgers, tasty salads and appetizers too. And for dessert, you can't beat their sweet sticks. Come on out for Tuesday night trivia and live entertainment every Thursday night. The place to be is Johnny B's, smack dab in the middle of Main Street, downtown Jamestown. And remember, for delivery and carryout, call 952-8777.
The S&P Health Ave Maria pregame continues now. We are joined by the head coach of Dickinson State University football, Pete Stanton. And coach, off of a bye week, did that bye come at a good time for you guys?
Yeah, it did. It was good to have a week to just get some guys healed up and be able to, with the home stretch that we have for these last three games, get a chance to catch our breath and get some guys healed up after big homecoming win over Mayville State.
That was a big game. I would imagine it was probably bigger for Mayville to try and prove that, they were a real contender in this thing, but you guys played awfully well, a 49-14 win. What was the most pleasing aspect of the victory?
I think we just got off to a great start, and, we were worried about them holding onto the ball and chewing up the clock, and we scored on our first drive and had a 7-minute drive to score on, and then we were able to get a turnover the next drive and got the ball back again and got up 21-0. So I think it was just the start that we got to, and with what Mayville did offensively, running that Wildcat and trying to control the clock, that it just really just changed the complexion of the game. And we had one of our better games that we played all year. Our guys really did a good job and had a 42-7 lead at halftime, and were able to get a lot of guys in the second half.
So you faced everyone at least once in the league. What have you made of the NSAA on the whole in 2024? It seems like after you guys, there's been a lot of parity.
Yeah, very even with the other teams right now, and obviously you're seeing some changes, taking place the second time around. Jamestown has come and defeated two teams that they lost to before, so obviously they've made good improvements, and that's kind of what we're seeing the second time around is, the teams that have a little bit more depth and those type of things are doing well the second time around.
So you are getting ready for the Jimmies. They are coming off of now back-to-back wins after their 0-6 start to the season. What have you seen as some of the biggest reasons for those wins for Jamestown in these last couple weeks?
Well, their defensive front has been, I think, really good all year long. They've been a team that's created a lot of turnovers and scored on defense a lot. And, you look at the early season games, they could have easily won a couple of those games. You look at the Mary game and you look at the Shattering game and the first Mayville game, they had an opportunity to win all those games. So I think defensively they've done a really good job. And offensively, I think they're running the ball, much better. I think that the Hammett kid at running back has done a really good job. They're doing a good job of running that stretch play and holding on to the ball a little bit longer. And just been impressed with the way they're running the ball much better here as the season's gone along.
A chance for your program to win another league title. With a win Saturday, you'll clinch the North Star. I know from afar it looks like, oh my goodness, Dickinson State did it again. What else is new? But I'm sure for you as a coach, two things. You never take this for granted. And two, it's a lot harder than it seems from afar.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's a lot of things that have to go into it. We've been very fortunate. I think the big thing that's helped us is we've just taken it 1 week at a time. We never talk about looking out ahead too far, too many games out ahead too far. And we also don't talk about the past either. What we talk about is this is the 2024 team. We've never talked about, hey, we've won this many conference championships in a row and it's going to automatically happen, because that's when you get into trouble. So we've just talked about taking it one game at a time, and it's all about this year's team. And then, obviously this week, we tell our team too, you have an opportunity to come here, and you always want to play in meaningful games in November, and that's what really we have presented for us this week, is a very meaningful game in November, and we know we've got a big challenge because Jamestown's playing well.
When we return, David Burrell sits down with the head coach of the Jimmies, Brian Mistro, on Jamestown 107.1. This is the voice of the Jimmies.
Do you want to make sure homework time isn't spent on games and video streaming? Dakota Central can help. With Experience IQ, you set limits to ensure your kids aren't playing when they should be doing homework. With premium managed Wi-Fi from Dakota Central, you can create healthier internet habits for your children from the easy-to-use Command IQ app. Learn more about premium Wi-Fi and Experience IQ today at dakotacentral.com.
S&P Health Ave Maria pregame continues. Hanson Stadium, Jamestown to Dickinson State this afternoon, and we visit with head coach Brian Mistro. I'll throw something out there and let's see whether you agree. Teams that, and this is something that, sure, it's been put to the test this year, but teams that care a lot about one another and really have some heart win games like the one you won last Saturday. True or false?
True, because we did everything in our power to give it to them and give that thing away. But the guys, they banded together and they wouldn't take no for an answer as far as, we're gonna go and get this thing. And our guys did such a great job of, taking each other in arm and saying, no, like, we're done with this and let's go get this thing and let's go win a football game. So it was super awesome to see from the guys. And I always tell them, it's good to see the smiles on your face after games, guys. That's what I kind of live for on this thing. So it was really good.
Well, and it got there in large part, and we talked with Shane about it because you directed it to me, but I'm glad you did, about how his defense, and it's been this way all year, but that last Saturday was just a crowning achievement, I thought, for your defense.
They played so poorly in Shane's eyes versus Mayville State the first time. We had to redeem ourselves, and that was the challenge all week from Coach Clancy. He does such a good job of motivating those guys and putting a game plan together that our guys can be proud of and take ownership of it, and they did that. And Ezra goes and has another big game while having the flu and all the things that go along with it. So, yeah, I'm tremendously proud of Coach Clancy and his staff and how those guys responded to, the first time we played them. And I think when you hold a team to 120-something yards, there's a combination of, maybe some really big plays made on our end and some things that, we hopefully got them not as confident in on their end.
All right, you know what you have today in an excellent team, and you know what happened the first time around where Madler had the game of his life, basically, and what adjustments can be made to try to slow him in this passing game and their superb receivers down.
He's a good player. He's been a good player for a long time, and I think he was player of the week a few times in the NSAA. So it's like, all right, they got a guy back there, but then you come off and watch film and you go, all right, he's turned the ball over. The first time we played him, he turned the ball over 3 or 4 times in the red zone. And then he comes out for us and he's basically Vincent Van Gogh painting his masterpiece. And it's like, well, that was a really good throw. Our guy's in good spot and in good coverage, and he just puts a dot on it. And so, there's not much you could do when the guy's in a zone like that. But it's our job to not allow him to get into the zone. And I think that's something we've been preaching to our guys is how can we be disruptive? How can we do our job better? I think we pressed too much, and we got into that stretch there, where we lost to Dakota State, Dickinson, and Mayville, even with Valley, where we're pressing defensively, and we were trying to do things that were out of the realm of our scheme and what we don't need to do. And guys making mistakes that we didn't have make mistakes all week in practice or all year so far. And now I think we've gotten back to playing our style of football, which, let's trust our guys to go out and run, hit, and celebrate. And I think if our guys can be disruptive that way within our system, it's going to be a little bit of a better deal. Now, that doesn't mean they can't turn around and hand the ball off and be able to run the rock too. And those guys, it's a darn good football team, and they've been a darn good football team for a long time. And so there's nothing that I'm going to say that's going to say this is going to be easy. But I think our guys are ready. We're to the point of surrendering to the outcome. Let's go out and have fun. And we talked about it as a team at breakfast a couple weeks ago. Like, guys, like, go inflict physical pain. Go dominate an opponent, and then on the way up to the locker room, we can take a look at the score and see what happened. And I think having that mentality has been a little bit better for us.
And offense today, obviously, yes, run the ball like you did last Saturday is big, but make sure protect Johnny too, because this team comes after the quarterback hard every single game.
Yep, let's get the ball out of his hands. Let's make sure our protections are sound in what we want to do. And Johnny needs to be able to have be in the zone for himself and being able to have that game where he just says, I'm going to go ahead and do the things that I know I can do well. We've challenged him. He's been playing a little timid. He's been playing, not trying to mess up. Like, nah, dude, let's go out and play ball. Mm-hmm. And so Johnny's been good this week. Nick's always got to be ready to go. But I really like where our guys' heads are at mentally right now. And obviously, after you win a couple games, I think that helps.
No doubt. Thank you, sir. Good luck this afternoon.
Absolutely. Go Jimmies.
S&P Health Ave Maria pregame continues with the starting lineup of Jamestown and Dickinson State. Here on Jamestown 107.1, this is the voice of the Jimmies.
Otter Tail Power Company would like to remind you about the importance of high school athletics in the lives of children. Those extracurricular activities play a role in the education and development of those kids involved and provide a way for kids to learn some of life's most important lessons. Lessons that'll take them through life with a sense of accomplishment and pride. Otter Tail Power Company would like to salute those athletes, coaches, and fans who make every season one to remember.
Not far from kickoff at Hanson Stadium, Jamestown and Dickinson State, as the Jimmies trying to beat the Blue Hawks for the first time in a long time. How long? Brian Mistro was starting at safety for the Jimmies. 2007, Dickinson State's won 16 in a row, leading the overall series 50-33-1. 34-14 that day on October 27th of 2007 here at Hanson Stadium, the last Jamestown win over Dickinson State. John Grant is the Jimmy quarterback, the redshirt junior from Cheyenne, now on that 939 yards passing. That big play to Isaiah Roebuck, his second touchdown of the year. He has thrown 10 picks. Zach Hammett, the offensive player of the week in the NSAA, 341 yards and 4 touchdowns. He has one in each of the last 4 games. Receivers, Ethan Hoffman leading the club in catches with 18, the redshirt freshman from Flanders, South Dakota. Isaiah Roebuck with the big catch last week. The first touchdown, his senior year, yardage leader among receivers in the club, a 241 senior from Marana, Arizona. Dawson Schmidt, the redshirt junior from Watertown, South Dakota, 12 catches, but only 2 in the last 4 games. A couple weeks ago here against Dickinson State. Caleb Powell, the senior from Murrieta, California, the pass-catching tight end with 10 catches. Gus Hangsleben, the redshirt junior on the offensive line at left tackle. Jordan 55-pounder from Monticello, Minnesota. Brady Hoff, the senior left guard, 330 from Fallbrook, California. Center is the 260-pound redshirt freshman Matt Sperlin from Surprise, Arizona. Right guard Thomas Pittenger, the 280-pound redshirt sophomore from Denver, Colorado. And the right tackle was the 290-pound senior from Williston, Cole Mack. A superb defense. We gave you the number earlier for Dickinson State. 4th best statistically in NAIA football, allowing only 236 yards a game and only 70 yards a game on the ground. Their front 3, Dylan Dahlgren, sophomore from Soldado, Alaska, with 5.5 sacks. Nose tackle, Wyatt Anderson, the junior from Joliet, Montana. He has a couple of sacks. And on the other end, it's the former Jamestown Blue Jay, Matt Anderson, now a senior with 13 tackles, and he has a couple of sacks. Linebackers, Nathaniel Gillick, the junior from Dickinson Trinity, with 25 tackles. Brooks Talbot, the senior from Bozeman, Montana, with 24. Riley Waters, their leading tackle, with 38. So that tells you how much they spread out the tackles. The junior from Sydney, Montana. Shell Osborne, the sophomore from Laurel, Montana. We'll pick up the starting lineups in a bit on the S&P Health Ave Maria pregame show from Hanson Stadium on Jamestown 107.1. This is the voice of the Jimmies.
Why choose Professional Eye Care Centers? 3 great reasons are Dr. Bond, Dr. Freilich, and Dr. Jangula, 3 of the most educated professional optometrists you'll ever meet. Next is their many locations. You can now see one of their spectacular doctors in Jamestown, Valley City, Carrington, Edgeley, Ellendale, and Lemoore. And finally, their fantastic selection. And yes, all of their frames and lenses are backed up by warranty. Visit ProEyeCareCenters.com and make an appointment today. Professional Eye Care Centers, clearly the best.
At
At Unison Bank, we provide financial solutions for customers to meet their needs today and achieve their dreams tomorrow. From personal banking services like checking accounts, mortgage, and auto loans, to business banking services. At Unison Bank, we offer financial solutions with prompt responses and quality service. Visit unisonbank.com for more information. Located in Jamestown, Linton, and Wishick, as well as Gilbert, Arizona. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
Before you can start building a business, you have to have great builders. Hillerud Construction is a builder of high-quality commercial buildings, and they're hiring talented labor and carpenters to help them do just that. Vacation, paid holidays, 401k, and health insurance benefits for full-time employees, plus great pay depending on experience. Apply at 1008 2nd Avenue Southeast, Jamestown, or visit HillerudConstruction.com. Again, visit HillerudConstruction.com, and let's get building.
Continuing the S&P Health Ave Maria pregame and continuing our look at the starting lineups for Dickinson State's defense. Their secondary, safety, senior Joey DeMarco from Oswego, Illinois. He has a pick. Junior Jack Hartman from Petaluma, California. And the corners, Jaden Hartwell, a superb player, senior from Anchorage, Alaska. He's had 3 touchdowns this season. 2 interception returns, 1 fumble return for a score. And Cooper McLaughlin, the other corner, a senior from Sidney, Montana. Offensively for Dickinson State, the 6th-year senior quarterback from Bismarck, the Northern State transfer, Will Madler, with 1,623 yards after over 2,600 a year ago, and 415 and 3 touchdowns in the game against Jimmies in Dickinson. Braden Zuroff, the senior running back from New Salem, with 496 yards, 110 2 weeks ago in the victory over Mayville State, their last game. Receivers, Samaj Clark, what a year he's having, the junior from Rockland, California, 528 yards receiving on 24 catches and 7 touchdowns. C.J. Stinson, the sophomore from Spanish Springs, Nevada. Here come the Jimmies onto the field. Stinson, leader in catches on this team with 26, 425 yards and 4 scores. Kyle Montague, a junior from Sheridan, Wyoming, 13 catches, 140 yards, and their tight end has 12 catches. Caden Houle, a sophomore from Trenton. William Rollins and Edward Aranda Calixto on the left side of their offensive line. They're 290 and 300. Evan Showalter, center from Dickinson High, is 290. On the right side, these guys are both from Torrington, Wyoming. Guard Scotty Woodruff, 300, and tackle Brandon Bennett, 285. They're both seniors. Jimmy's defense, front 3, you'll hear from Daniel Erlinson at halftime. The senior from Breckenridge, Minnesota, has 26 tackles. Josiah Polita, the nose tackle. Ty Mansfield, a little under the weather. Tyler Dean, the other end, the redshirt junior from Watertown, South Dakota. Linebackers, David Diaz Jr., the 5th-year senior from Windermere, Florida. Ted Rance, the 5th-year senior from Arroyo Grande, California. Mason Parker, the redshirt junior from Mesa, Arizona. And the 2-time now Defensive Player of the Week in the league, last 2 weeks, Ezra Bellingary, the 5th-year senior from Sparks, Nevada. We'll see if we can pick up the coin toss here in a bit. Safeties, Kyle Williams, redshirt junior from Aurora, Colorado. Redshirt
Tails is called. Jamestown, you have won the terse. Defer. You want to see the football? Which end of the field do you want to kick from? Go ahead, turn our backs to the goal we're going to be defending. University of Jamestown won the toss. Elected to defer. We'll be kicking north to start. Good luck today. Have fun, gentlemen.
And the Jimmy cornerbacks, Ray Benners, the redshirt senior from Huntington, West Virginia. And Spencer Russell, the redshirt sophomore from Phoenix, Arizona. Jamestown wearing black tops, orange numerals and letters and white trim. Yeah, I'm not surprised. They wore these uniforms 2 weeks ago against Dakota State when they won here. So I'm not surprised they're wearing them again. White pants, solid orange helmets. Dickinson State, white tops, deep navy blue numerals, and bands around the shoulders, black pants with white bands down the side. And their helmets are gray with blue stripes. And they send deep to receive the opening kickoff. Ivan Ostry, a junior from Rosemead, California, and Jackson Weenbar, a junior from Breckenridge, Minnesota. It'll be Onan Peterson, the junior from Andover, Minnesota, to kick off. Jamestown will go from left to right, from south to north. There's not much wind here. It's not really a factor, but it is chilly. Again, it's the sort of weather that players easily get up for. And it is chilly, by far the chilliest game we've had all year, 37 degrees. But the fog finally lifted. Boy, it was pea soup this morning, wasn't it? Hope you enjoy the action from Hanson Stadium as the Jimmies try for the upset in a third straight win. Owen Peterson on several hops. The kick does make it back at the 15-yard line, 20, 25, 30, and down to the 33-yard line. That was Darian Brown who was back there to receive it for Dickinson State. And the Blue Hawks will start from just outside their own 35-yard line.
Your home for UJ Jimmy. AM 1400 KQDJ Jamestown and 107.1 K296 HH Jamestown.
Let's see if the Jimmies can contain Will Madler today. Over 400 yards passing in the game out in Dickinson. No wideouts as they set up with a double wing on 1st and 10 from their 33. Now they send Samaj Clark in motion and hand it off in the first play of the game. 35-40, a lot of room for Braden Zuroff, and he's all the way to his 46-yard line, and the senior from New Salem, Almont, moves the sticks on a 13-yard run on the first play of the game. And the Jimmies know they're going to be tested by both facets of this offense. Madler back, the throw gets hit as he does and throws left and incomplete. And from the nose tackle spot, Josiah Palida gave him a shot, helped him up, but a good, clean, hard hit forced Madler to get rid of the ball. He was going for Clark on the left flat. 2nd down and 10 for Dickinson State from their 26. Clark is wide to the left. 2 receivers to the left now, 1 to the right. Gage Gilbert, the tight end, goes now to the right. It's an unbalanced line. C.J. Stinson in motion from left to right now, and they hand off to Zuroff at left guard, 48, maybe the 49, before the Jimmies come in to stop it with Mason Parker. 3rd and 7 now for Dickinson State. They're 36% for the year on 3rd down. 32 of 89, went 4 for 10 against Mayville State a couple of weeks ago. Clark's on one wing. They're not wide. They have 2 wings here. No, it's Stinson, and he goes in motion, and they hand off to him. Around right end, midfield, but brought down just as he crossed midfield at the 49-yard line of Jamestown. And after giving up a big run, Tyler Dean made that play. And after a big run on the first play of the game, the Jimmy defense bears down. And Ty Nelson, the freshman from Dickinson, averaging 33 yards a kick, is in to punt. And the first time we've seen this year, dual returners set for Jamestown back near their 20. Pass a little high. Nelson's able to put it in. Fair catch call by Ray Benners at his 21. That's where Jamestown will take over with 13:04 to go in the first quarter, and no score on the Gunnereal Sports scoreboard. Jimmy's, in fact, will be at their 22. Now can this offense start well again, and will they depend on Zach Hammett to run the football again? The junior from Mojave Valley, Arizona, coming off the Offensive Player of the Week honor. And the first 100-yard rushing game for this program in 3 years. Alan Genving had been the last in that overtime win over Concordia here 3 years ago. They pass on the first play. Grand going long right, one Schumacher, and just off his hand at midfield. And he was well covered, too. Cooper McLaughlin, the corner, was with Colton step for step. Pass right there. Schumacher just couldn't reach it in time. He knew he was being well covered. 2nd down and 10, Jamestown from their 22, from left to right at the left hash. Schumacher is a wide to the right. That's the wide side. Now sets up in a slot to the right. So really no wideouts here, and the handoff is to Hammett. 23-yard line, but stopped cold by Riley Waters, the junior from Sidney, Montana. Held him to a 2-yard gain, and that'll make 3rd down and 8 for Jamestown. And it's been a tough down, as we've told you every week this year. Only 31% for the Jimmies, 32 of 106, just 2 of 12 in Mayville last Saturday afternoon. Colton Schumacher, wide right, slot to the right is Ethan Hoffman. 2 receivers to the left, 2 for Jamestown on 3rd and 8 from their 24. Orbit motion, and Grant throws up the middle for Hoffman, but stopped at the 22-yard line. Shell Osborne, the sophomore from Laurel, Montana, grabbed him right after he caught the football. They'll give him forward progress to the 23, but it's a loss of 1, and it's punt formation time on 4th down for Jamestown. Brooks Butt, the junior from Crookston, Minnesota, 36.1 is his average. Carson Hunter, the senior from Miles City, Montana, stands back at his 41. Pass back to Brooks. Line drive kick. Little spin on it. And takes a bounce back to Hunter and puts the knee down back at his 36-yard line. Dickinson State will start from there with 11:40 remaining in the opening quarter. And no score in the Gunner Real Sports scoreboard. Keep you updated on everything else that's happening, including area teams in playoffs today, including Lemoore Litchfield Marion. Holy mackerel. They're about to win over South Prairie Max. It was decided at halftime again. It was 60-6 LLM at halftime. 73-20. They lead with a minute to go. Wow. 1st and 10 Dickinson State here from their 36. Madler with a handoff going to Zuroff. Another good run around at right end. 45 midfield. He's all the way to the Jamestown 48, and that's a first down. And Zuroff has broken off a couple of good runs very early in this game. Mason Parker made the hit. New Rockford Cheyenne Maddock, that's where BJ is. In New Rockford, they lead Grant County Fletcher at the half by a score of 30-12, also in the 9-man quarterfinals this afternoon. 1st and 10, Dickinson State. They're at the Jamestown 48. Send a man in motion to the left, and the fake to Zuroff. Throw to the right, and falling and catching it at the 42-yard line of Jamestown is Kyle Meineke, the junior from Sheridan, Wyoming. He got 2 catches the first time around. That's his 14th of the year. That one's for a gain of 6. Dickinson State just goes with those short routes a lot of the time, but Madler was so accurate the first time around. He's been accurate well since he played at Bismarck High. Play fake here, and he rolls to the right on 2nd down. This one's caught, put it right in there for Samaj Clark, 25-yard line before he is sent back by 3 Jimmies, but Clark has catch number 25. He has averaged 22 yards a catch this year. It's spotted at the Jamestown 26 for a first down, but he had 7 catches in the game in Dickinson for 161 yards and a touchdown, and he really has emerged in the last 4 games, starting with that one. Dickinson State on the move. 1st and 10 at the Jamestown 26. Clark this time is wide to the left. Hand off around left end. And this is Zuroff. Breaks a tackle at the 20-yard line of Jamestown. 15-yard line. Benners and others to stack him up, including Parker Chafee. But Zuroff, the senior, is off to a good start running the ball today. He has 9 yards right there and has 41 already on his first 4 carries. 2nd down and a yard at the Jamestown 17. Left hash wide side right. Clark wide to the left. Kyle Meineke wide to the right. Zuroff in the backfield behind the quarterback, Will Madler. Fake to Zuroff. Throw to the left. Caught by Clark, waist high at the 15, down to the 13-yard line. Good play by Ezra Bell and Gary to prevent that from maybe a score, but it is a first down for Dickinson State, as they are moving the ball smartly on this drive now. Up to 4 first downs now in the game, 3 on the drive. 1st and 10 at the Jamestown 12. 8:45 first quarter, no score. Again, it's Meineke split wide right and Clark wide to the left. Tight end Gilbert to the left. Fake to Zuroff, throw left. Clark another waist-high catch at the 5 into the end zone. Touchdown. Broke away from Ray Benners. Parker Chafee caught up to him too late. And Samaj Clark has scored against Jamestown again. His 8th receiving touchdown of the year. That's number 18 passing for Madler, and that was a typical efficient Dickinson State drive. Chase Miller, sophomore from Torrington, Wyoming, is the place kicker, 29 of 33 in extra points. Madler's the holder. Ryan Rocht is the snapper. Snap a little high, but put down by Madler, and the kick is through. Dickinson State going for another NSAA title, tries to take the lead. We have 8:32 remaining in the opening quarter here at Charlotte and Gordon Hansen Stadium, with Dickinson State leading Jamestown 7-0 on Jamestown 107.1, and this is the voice of the Jimmies.
You know you don't really want that hurry-up, bought on the cheap, not sure what I got insurance coverage. Good, because Farmers Union insurance agents do things just a little different. We'll work with you personally for home, auto, business, or farm insurance and tailor the exact coverage plan you need, because we're not satisfied until you are. Different? You bet. Farmers Union Insurance. Simply different.
Good luck to the Blue Jays and Jimmies from your local Farmers Union agent, Steve Benyon.
Not all products underwritten by Farmers Union Insurance.
Chase Miller set to kick for Dickinson State after a very, very good drive again. 6 plays, 64 yards, took 3:08. Short kick and a fair catch by Jamestown at their 26-yard line as Zach Mueller, the linebacker from Aurora, Colorado, in there on special teams to take the short kick. So John Grand and Jamestown out on offense for the second time. It's at the 25-yard line, actually, of the right hash. Remember, this is a football-basketball doubleheader today. Men's basketball and Casey Brueggemann's head coaching debut against Briarcliff not too long after we're done here, so stay with us on Jamestown 107.1. 2 receivers left and 1 to the right. Gran with a handoff and just barreling his way forward down to the 31. Good run for Colton Schneider on his first carry of the day. The redshirt freshman from Devils Lake has just about 6 yards. Slid off 1 tackle and moved his way forward right there. 2nd down and 4 for Jamestown. Jimmies are at their 31. Nate Burke seeing more playing time lately. The redshirt junior from Aurora, Colorado, is to the left along with Isaiah Roebuck. Fake the handoff. Graham with a roll left. He's being chased. He throws to the left, and it is caught out of bounds at his 44-yard line. Here's Isaiah Roebuck. Oh, how relieved he was to have that first touchdown of his senior year last Saturday. The big play, the 73-yarder. For his 15th career touchdown reception. 1st and 10, Jamestown. First down for the Jimmies at their 44-yard line. Roebuck sent in motion to the right, and a pitch to him out of that, but he's bottled up and is able to move his way forward back to the line of scrimmage. Riley Waters was waiting for him right after he took that little pitch pass, and Roebuck was able to move it forward back to the line of scrimmage, but the Sidney Montana sophomore, the leading tackler on this team, was right where he needed to be from Dickinson State's point of view. 2nd down and 10, Jamestown at their 44. Slot left, Cody Pelleton. Wide left is Nate Burke. Wide right, Isaiah Roebuck. Slot to the right, that is Anthony Terso. And he comes out of that in motion. They hand off to Hammond and is bouncing off 1 tackle and still trying to move his way forward and down at his 46-yard line for a gain of a couple. Dylan Dahlgren the end in there and popped him. So I'll make it 3rd down and 8 for Jamestown from their 46. 7-0 Dickinson State. 6:19 in the first on the Gun and Reel Sports scoreboard. Touchdown pass to end Dickinson State's last possession from Will Madler to Samaj Clark. 3rd and 8 for Jamestown here at their 46. Receivers split each way in a wing right. Fake it to Hammett. Grand, good protection. Throwing long right once. Burke, they caught it. 30, right side 20, 15. Nate Burke at the 10, taking a man with him all the way down to the 8. He took Jaden Hartwell for the last 4 yards of that. 38 yards. Nate Burke with a big catch, make it the 9 and 37, but still, Burke open there, and there's a man they haven't gone too much, so Dickinson State hasn't had too much of a chance to see what he can do on video. He just did something there, and it's 1st and goal, Jamestown at the Dickinson State 9, and Nate in there again, lined up wide to the left and Roebuck to the right. Lone setback is Zach Hammett. Grand backing up to the 15-yard line. Takes a high snap, throws left, wants Roebuck, little hand fight here. Burke, it is caught it. Touchdown, Jamestown. Little bump with Cooper McLaughlin, the 1 you're allowed. Flags come down after the touchdown is scored. But Nate Burke comes through, and what a moment for him. As the young man who had the big catch of 37 yards to set it up, and now he scores, and the Jimmies are an extra point from tying the game, but 3 flags came out, I assume all for the same thing. Let's find out what this is all about. I would imagine unsportsmanlike.
The result of the play is touchdown. After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 24, University of Jamestown. Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 50, Dickinson State. Both those unsportsmanlike contacts count towards disqualification towards the player. Penalties will be offset. We will now attempt to try.
So 2 of those UC penalties and you're done. So Zach Hammett had it for the Jimmies and Wyatt Anderson for Dickinson State. But those are the first 2 career catches as a Jimmy for Nate Burke, and the second was for a touchdown. Onan Peterson, 10 of 14 on extra points. He'll try to tie it. Gage Solano, the holder. The snapper's Austin Stalin. A little low, but it's put down by Solano, and it's kicked through. 5:05 first quarter. The coming out drive for Nate Burke ties this game at 7. Jamestown and Dickinson State on Jamestown 107.1. This is the voice of the Jimmies.
Hey, this is Sean from the Jamestown Country Club. Thank you for a great season and the largest turnout ever for the FCCU Labor Day Classic. Congratulations to our champion, Brian Meyer. With that said, the Country Club is still open and enjoyable for great fall golf. Come out and enjoy a nice round of golf and a cool beverage before the season ends. And it's never too early to think about next year's season. The Country Club is offering memberships already. Be one of the first 75 people to sign up for next year and you'll receive 5 free guest passes.
Touchdown of the pass of the year for John Gran, and it's 7-7 with 5:05 left in the first quarter at Hanson Stadium, and Onan Peterson is ready to kick. With Jackson Wingbar, Darian Brown again waiting for it, but this one comes to an up man at his 22. It's Austri left to the 25, 30, 35, but just put his shoulder and knocked the Jimmy down at around the 38. Gunnar Stevens took the brunt of that from Austri, who's not big, but he's not small. He's 5'11", 195, but put that shoulder pad right down on Gunnar there. Dickinson State will start at their 38, 1st and 10. The other NSAA game today in Valley City. VCSU is leading Mayville State at the 2-minute timeout in the fourth quarter. It's 10-6. VCSU struggled since they beat the Jimmies, but have just enough so far today. 1st and 10, Dickinson State from their 38. Handoff Zuroff up the middle. Heining room again, 40 down the right side, 45-yard line. There's 7 more for Zuroff, who is off to a good start, and a Jimmy is not yet up at the end of this play. Zuroff last year with 1,200 yards and 19 touchdowns to tie the program record. And this year, 7 touchdowns. And they're still tending to the injured Jimmy. 7 more there. It's Ezra Bellingary. He's up. You heard Brian Mistro say that last week it was the flu. Oh, no, they're having to help him off. Oh, boy. Let's hope this isn't too serious for a player that's just had 2 tremendous weeks in a row. Well earning of the Defensive Player of the Week in the NSAA. Both of those weeks. But he is needing assistance to get to the sideline here. We'll keep an eye on him. 2nd down and 3, Dickinson State. Blue Hawks hit their 45 in a 7-7 game. 4:42 in the first quarter in the Gunner Real Sports scoreboard. 2 receivers left and 1 to the right. Samaj Clark, a little bit of emotion. They hand it off to Zuroff. Left guard, 48. That's a first down before he is pushed back by Brody Schneikert, who's in there on the line, the redshirt freshman from Lake Havasu City, Arizona. But it's right where they need it. Dickinson State at their 48 for a first down. So 53 yards running the ball already for the Blue Hawks. And most of that from Zuroff. 1st and 10 from their 48. High snap, but Madler gives it to Zuroff. Can't shake one tackle at the 40. I made it to midfield, and just a couple more. Jet Rance finished it off. But there was a hit. Erlinson there a couple of yards behind that to prevent Zuroff from getting a good head of steam. He is held to 2. 2nd down and 8. Hardy fans here making some noise and trying to keep themselves warm on this 37-degree day. 2nd and 8 at midfield for Dickinson State. Wideouts each way, and back to throw is Will Madler from his 42 down the middle. Caught, and it is Gilbert, the tight end. Chafee wrapped him up, but the ball came loose. It is out. Jimmies say they have it. The officials have not indicated the same. In fact, they say it is Dickinson State football, as it was Gage Gilbert, the freshman from Camp Crook, South Dakota, who fell on it, and in fact gained forward 6 to the Jimmy 44. Harding County High School was where Gage Gilbert played. 3rd and 2 for Dickinson State. They're at the Jamestown 42. 2:42 left in the first in a 7-7 game. 2 receivers to the left. Now Austria in motion to the right, and whistle stopped the play.
Dickinson State University, first charged, time out of the half.
It's a Hilderud construction timeout, and we'll take it 2:32 in the first. 7-7, Dickinson State and Jamestown at Hanson Stadium on Jamestown 107.1. This is the voice of the Jimmies.
Looking for a roofing company that truly knows your town? Choose Vetter Construction. Unlike those big-name competitors using our city's name, we're your community experts right here working for you. From repairs to full replacement, our trusted team delivers quality and care that you can trust. For a roof that stands strong, call Vetter Construction today. 320-1990. 320-1990.
Yeah, looked like a little bit of confusion there. Austria wasn't sure where he should be. It appeared, and Pete Stanton said, let's stop this and make sure. 2:32 in the opening quarter, 7-7 game. Madler to Clark with a touchdown pass for Dickinson State. John Grand and Nate Burke for Jamestown. 3rd and 2, Dickinson State from their 40, from the Jamestown 44. Tight ends, Houle and Gilbert now set to the left. Austria now in motion to a wing right. Handoff, Zuroff up the middle, 40. First down, 35, and breaking through an ankle tackle all the way near the 34-yard line of Jamestown. Spencer Russell hanging on to his ankle, but it was the 33-yard line before Zuroff came down. 11 more for Zuroff, who was having a huge opening quarter. 1st and 10, Dickinson State at the Jamestown 33. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Play fake to Zuroff. Once Clark, long left. Now he tries to find Stinson, and CJ dropped it with nothing but the end zone in front of him at the 6. The pass was a little bit behind him, but Stinson had turned around for it, and it bounced right off his hands. These receivers these days normally wear gloves. But still, and when it's cold like this, it's not the easiest thing to catch a football, especially the way Will Madler can zip it. Second down and 10, Dickinson State. Jamestown's 33. Double wing. Stinson out of that and takes it around right end. Ostry trying to block it, really tripped him up, and he's down at the 29-yard line. And Stinson a little slow to get up, but he is. Yeah, it was really Ostry that sent him down. Still ended up being a 5-yard gain. Ezra Bellingary is back on the field, and the Jimmies are happy to see that. After he got shaken up earlier. 5-yard gain, 3rd and 5, Dickinson State. Jamestown's 28, 7-7, 120 in the first. Madler could be changing the play here. Leans in, may have called an audible. 2 receivers each way. 6 to snap it, back to throw. Looks left and caught. Sliding catch inside the Jamestown 10 by Adrian Calderon, the freshman from Laramie, Wyoming. 20 yards to the 8 of the Jimmies. It's 1st and goal. Calderon had 3 catches in the game in Dickinson. Had a catch last week. Had a huge touchdown reception early in the year against Stout as the Blue Hawks trying to come back in that game. That's the only one they've lost. 1st and goal, Dickinson State at the Jamestown 8. 35 seconds in the opening quarter in a 7-7 game. Madler hands off. Zuroff up the middle. 5-yard line for Braden. 3 before he is stacked up. Now down to 18 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Kyle Williams was in to make that play. Dickinson State won't snap it again before the second quarter begins. So Dickinson State struck first, but the Jimmies come back to tie it on John Grant's touchdown pass to Nate Burke. And at the end of 1 at Hanson Stadium on the Gunner Real Sports scoreboard, Dickinson State 7, Jamestown 7. On Jamestown 107.1, this is the voice of the Jimmies.
Some of us were born to farm. Some diesels, like Cenex Premium Diesel, were born to fuel. Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster comes with a more complete additive package for a more complete burn to reduce particulate matter and keep filters cleaner for longer. Fuel your equipment like a pro with Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster and leave typical number 2 diesel to the amateurs. Cenex Premium Diesel. Diesel that doesn't mess around.
(7-7) at the end of 1 at Hanson Stadium. Dickinson State and Jamestown. Dickinson State, their running game doing the job with a big yardage advantage, 141 to 77. 76 yards rushing already for the Blue Hawks, and Zuroff has 69. Will Madler is 6 of 8 for 65. But John Grant has a good start to at quarterback for the Jimmies, 5 of 6, 66. And Nate Burke with the 2 big catches on that opening drive, on the touchdown drive, that is for Jamestown. But now, Dickinson State has moved it to the Jimmies 3, 2nd down and goal. Madler sends a man in motion to the left and back to the right, and they hand off up the middle and just go with Zuroff, and he is in for the touchdown. Braden Zuroff's 8th of the year. Big hole up the middle, and Zuroff, continuing a fine half, has the 3-yard score, and Dickinson State has regained the lead 3 seconds into the second quarter. Now Chase Miller will try to make it 14-7 with the extra point. Madler holding. Ryan Recht is the snapper. Snap good, the hold good, but a flag's out.
Part of the snap. False start. 84. Kick team. 5-yard penalty. Redo the try.
Ben Glasscock, a sophomore from Miles City, Montana, is the one that was called for the false start. He's set up on the right side on a wing to try to block here. So, from the 15, Chase Miller will try. Very good kicker here as he was for the Torrington Trailblazers. A little bit of a high snap, but Madler puts it down and Miller kicks it through. 3 seconds gone, second quarter at Hanson Stadium. Dickinson State 14, Jamestown 7 on the Gunner Real Sports scoreboard. On Jamestown 107.1, this is the voice of the Jimmies.
It's Zach here from Apex Physical Therapy and Wellness Center with exciting news that we are now open in our brand new location at 805 5th Avenue Northeast in Jamestown. That's right, we have a brand new space to help you out with your neck, back, hip, knee, shoulder pain, and so much more. It's the same great Apex you've loved, now with an incredible new space. If you haven't tried Apex, you really need to come see us. Give us a call today to come see us at 701-952-2739.
10-play, 62-yard scoring drive for Dickinson State. Took 5:02 and ended with Braden Zuroff's 8th rushing touchdown of the year. And puts Dickinson State back in front 14-7. And it is Chase Miller set to kick. A little shorter and down to the 9-yard line is Isaiah Roebuck. 10, 15, 20. Cuts left outside the numbers, outside 30. 40-yard line. And out of bounds all the way at the 47-yard line of Jamestown. Well, Banners had a 40-yard kickoff return earlier this year. And that one may have bested that. Not quite 37, but that's the second best. Roebuck had a 35-yard kickoff return earlier this year, too. 1st and 10 Jamestown. From there, 47. Double wing, snap back to Grant. Short throw left. This one's caught. Encino stumbling a little, but does make the catch. Out of bounds at the Dickinson State 46-yard line for a gain of 7. First catch for Erastus today. The 15th of the year for the redshirt junior from St. Cloud, Minnesota, the Ellsworth Community College transfer. Nate Burke, the touchdown maker, is wide to the right. One of 3 receivers to the right for the Jimmies. 2nd down and 3 at Dickinson State's 46. Hammett in the backfield. Lucas Andrews in motion. No, it's Schneider in the backfield, and Colton is wrapped up at the 48-yard line of Jamestown. Riley O'Donnell. Great play by the senior from Baker, Montana, where there have been a lot of good teams in recent years. Going back a few decades, in fact. And O'Donnell was part of that. He made that play. 3rd down and 5 for Jamestown at the Dickinson State 48. Nate Burke swat left. Isaiah Roebuck wide left. That's the wide side of the field. They're near the right hash where they line up. Now Schneider sent in motion, empty backfield. Grand down the middle and just a little bit behind Caleb Powell at the 43-yard line of Dickinson State. It would have been enough for the first down. But instead it's 4th down, and Brooks Butt will be in punt formation with Carson Hunter for Dickinson State, backing up to his 15. Brooks has put 11 punts inside the 20-yard line this season. Snap's a little low, but Butt's able to boot it away. Needs a roll to make it inside the 20 here, and it does. It'll be left alone by Hunter, and Jamestown will down it at the 16-yard line of Dickinson State with 17 left in the first half. 14-7. Dickinson State leads Jamestown on the Gunner Real Sports scoreboard. The other NSAA game today, Valley City State out of their doldrums. They didn't have too much offense today, but they had enough. Winning over Mayville State 10-6. Avery Thorsgaard late in the third with a touchdown pass to Trent Finney. And then Azan Lorenzo provided the final 3 with a fourth-quarter field goal for the Vikings, who improved to 3-5 overall and 2-4 in the league. 1st and 10 Dickinson State from their 16. And a delay on the handoff, and great pursuit as the Jimmies bring the ball carrier down a little behind the line of scrimmage. And that is Darian Brown, the junior from Lacey, Washington. They'll give him forward progress back to the line of scrimmage to the 16, but a couple of Jimmies were waiting there. 2nd and 10 for Dickinson State. Wide out each way at the left hash, wide side to the right. Will Madler. Play fake to Brown, throwing down the middle. Clark with a catch at the 34-yard line on a zipped throw, and not covered at all badly by Ray Benners, but right on the money was that pass. There's Rebel and Gary, by the way, with a credit on that play, along with Jacob Van Lith. Van Lith getting a chance to play. But now it's 1st and 10 for Dickinson State. The Blue Hawks at their 34, leading 14-7 about 3 minutes into the second. And the handoff to Brown. A lot of room left side, 45. Midfield down at the 47-yard line of Jamestown by Parker Chafee, who prevented an even bigger run. 19 yards. But Brown looked like he was on his way to a lot more. That's now 99 yards rushing already for Dickinson State. 1st and 10, Jamestown's 47. Snap is back to Madler. Throws on the left side behind Samaj Clark this time, an incomplete. Jimmy's in zone on that left side, but the pass zipped behind them. High school playoff football today. Yes, it was. Lemoore Litchfield Marion defeating South Prairie Max in the 9-man quarterfinal 73-20. New Rockford Cheyenne Maddock is leading Grant County Flasher in New Rockford with 5 minutes to go in the third, 38-12. That's where BJ is, by the way, New Rockford today, but he'll be with us for basketball later. 2nd down and 10, Dickinson State, Jamestown's 47. Madler with a handoff to Brown again, and chased down by Damian Otero behind the line. Otero got low and was able to put the kibosh on that Darian Brown run for a loss of a yard. Superb play by Damian. Now 1.5 tackles for loss for him for the season. Dickinson State's 3rd and 11 at Jamestown's 48. 2 receivers right and 1 to the left. Madler saying to Damian Brown, oh, look where that guy is. It's a blitzer. You better pick him up. Kyle Meineke in motion. Snap back to Madler at the 45. His 45. Throws right. Overthrown for Clark and incomplete. And well covered again. Xander Jarosh was there, but the ball was zipped but high. Big play for the Jimmy defense to get him off the field and force him a little bit behind the chains before that, too. Ty Nelson in to punt. Ray Benners and Isaiah Roebuck inside their 20 for Jamestown. A little low in the pass, but it's booted by Nelson. Fair catch called for by Isaiah Roebuck and has to fall down with it. Well, remember, he muffed one that gave Mayville State great field position last week. Holds on to this one. There is a flag down 2. Let's see what this is. 10:39 in the first half. The lead is 14-7 Dickinson State on the Gunner Reel Sports scoreboard.
Personal foul, kick catch interference, kicking team, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
That's why Roebuck fell down. He had clearly put his hand up, and after you do that, you can't touch him. First penalty on either team in this game. And Jamestown sees their field position improve. They're 1st and 10 from their 33-yard line. Down 14-7 to Dickinson State on the Gunner Reel Sports scoreboard with 10:39 left in the first half. Grand fakes it to Hammett. Little swing pass left and incomplete. It was behind that pass-catching tight end Caleb Powell. Covered well. They sold it well in the fake. But Grand, trying to throw on the run, threw it behind Powell. Just the 3rd incompletion for Grand. He's now 6 of 9 for 73 yards. Second down and 10, Jamestown from their 33. Right hash wide side left. Two receivers split each way. Hammond in the backfield. Pass to Grand. Throws to the right to Hammond. Caught 35-yard line at the Dickinson State sideline 40. Takes a hit and then is out of bounds. But Zach Hammond has his fourth reception of the year. He's out of bounds at his 40 for a gain of 7. And that'll make it third down a little bit easier to deal with for the Jimmies, who are 1 of 3 on this down today. 10-15 in the half, 14-7 Dickinson State. Gage Solano is wide to the right, and they're sending Powell out as a wide out here. And two receivers to the left. Powell now will come closer to that tight end spot. High snap to Grand, throws to the right. Hammond catches again, 45, first down, midfield, out of bounds. Back-to-back catches for Zach Hammond to move the sticks for Jamestown. But there's an injured Dickinson State Blue Hawk to hold things up for a moment. The gain was 2, the Jamestown 47. That's 7, but that is enough. And I believe that injured player is the defensive end. I think it's Dylan Dahlgren, but they'll check on him. Remember? Nope, it is actually Wyatt Anderson, that nose tackle, but he's up and walking off the field. Remember, later today, not too long after we finish here, Jimmy men's basketball from Harold Newman Arena. And we're looking forward to it because that's a team we can tell is going to be fun to watch play. Casey Brueggemann's head coaching debut against Briarcliff, that's later today. Monday night, it's an exhibition for the Jimmies, but we'll be there for it in Fargo at Shields Center against the NDSU Bison at 6:30. First and 10, Jamestown at their 47. So Wyatt Anderson out for at least to play Max Eaton in, a sophomore from Glendive, Montana, in his place of that nose tackle for Dickinson State. Handoff to Hammett, right guard 50, 48, 47-yard line of Dickinson State. Jack Hartman came in from the safety, stopped to spot him, but there's another good run for Hammett. And 6 for Zach, just his third carry so far today. He had 10 in the first meeting. That was the first time he played this season. He had the Jimmy's only touchdown that day in that 42-6 loss. Second and 4, Jamestown, 47-yard line of Dickinson State. 3 receivers left. That's the wide side. 1 to the right, but the hands to Hammett. Right guard, 45, 44-yard line. Going to be a little bit short of the first down, as Dahlgren and others were in there for Dickinson State, along with Jaden Hartwell. But it'll leave third down and a yard. And the Jimmies right here have plenty of options. 2 of 4 on third down today, down to 8:30 in the half, 14-7 Dickinson State. Remember, you'll hear from Daniel Erlinson as part of our Armstown halftime show. Colton Schumacher wide to the right, but they just go straight up the middle here. And the pile is pushed forward enough, it appears, for the first down. It is at the 42-yard line of Dickinson State. John Grand just tapping the leg of the center, said, "Give me to it," and everybody push for me. And he gained 2. First and 10, Dickinson State 42. And that double wing set, this is the same formation Dickinson State likes to use, and out of it, Grand wants to throw. Going long left. One Schumacher, well covered and incomplete. Pass hit the back of Cooper McLaughlin, the senior tight end from Sidney, Montana. Wasn't near him and had his back to the play, and it hit his back. And all he was doing was shielding Colton there, preventing him from his 19th catch of the year. Second and 10, Jamestown at the Dickinson State 42. Down 7 midway through the second. 3 receivers left and 1 to the right. Grand And it is a draw up the middle with Hammett, 40, 37, 36-yard line of Dickinson State. That little delay on a draw out of that 4-receiver set worked pretty well. Hammett has 6 more to make it 3rd down and 4. He comes out as Cody Pelletson is in for the Jimmies. Hoffman's out there too. They're in the huddle. Gate Solano's out there. Orestes Encino's out there. Empty backfield. It's a 5-receiver set, but only 2 are wide. They're to the left. 3rd and 4. 36-yard line of Dickinson State. Throw left is behind the intended receiver, Schumacher, at the 31-yard line of Dickinson State. Don't know whether the pass was in the wrong place or the route was wrong, but in either instance, it didn't work. The Jimmies will keep the offense on the field here with 6:48 left in the first half. Down 14-7 to Dickinson State on the Gunner Real Sports scoreboard. Solano is to the right. Schumacher is to the left, along with Encino and also Hoffman. There's movement in the line. Who flinched first? I don't know. Dickinson State player moved, and
prior to the snap,
was he first?
False start.
Nope.
75. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Yeah, it was Anderson that came out, but they say Cole Mack flinched and made him move. So, with it now being 4th and 9, the punt unit will come out. But it is not Brooks' punt. It's Parker Chafee. What's up here? Chafee wants to throw. That's why he's in now. He can't. Tries to run, and Dickinson State sniffed that out all the way. Down at the 48-yard line. Caleb Rist, sophomore from Minot, was in there, and I think Dickinson State had a pretty good idea of what was coming there. When they saw Chafee out in the field, they said, you got to be kidding me. There's no way this can be a punt. It wasn't. And Dickinson State will take over in pretty good field position at their 48. Chafee still wanted to kick the ball, and then he tried to run, which was the safest thing to do, to not have him really hammered. But, Dickinson State was on that play all the way. And they're 1st and 10 now at their 48. 2 receivers right for Will Madler. Steps back to his 40. Protection's good. Going long down the right side, and it is out of the hands of Clark, but he was knocked down by Spencer Russell, and here comes the flag. Clark had beaten him. Russell tried to catch back up.
Pass interference. Defense, number 28. 15-yard penalty, automatic. 1st down.
No doubt about that one. It was about the only thing Russell could do to prevent Samaj Clark from catching that and streaking into the end zone. Now Dickinson State is in Jamestown territory at the 37, 1st and 10. Second penalty of the game on the Jimmies. Wideouts either way. Clark to the left. Snap back to Madler. Throws to the left for Clark. Caught 28-yard line. 20. Tackle broken. He's out of bounds at the 16-yard line of Jamestown. 21 more and a 1st down. And Clark's on his way to a big day here again. That's his 5th catch already. For 71 yards. 1st and 10. Dickinson State, Jamestown 16. Nadler hands it off to Braden Zuroff this time. Right guard 10 down to the 8. Jackson Walters, the former Blue Jay, the sophomore, ended that play. But it's a big burst to the 9 for a gain of 7 by Zuroff. And that's 79 yards for him and 11 carries. And this Blue Hawk offense, who averages 379 yards a game, best in the league, 40th in the country. Moving efficiently again. They're 2nd down and 3 at the Jamestown 9. Left hash Two receivers to the left, and keeping it here is Madler at left guard to the 6 to the 5. And the ball came out but came forward, and the Blue Hawk was able to land on it. And it looked like it was Evan Showalter, the center, yes, and Kyle Meineke immediately plopped on him to make sure no Jimmy could get at it. And it's forward to the 5-yard line, and it's first and goal. I guess you make your own breaks, right? That was a big break for Dickinson State. Now the officials are going to talk about this. The ball was fumbled forward, but Showalter, the senior from Dickinson High, was able to pounce upon that ball.
3-yard line, first down.
It's at the 3. Yeah, they hadn't put it to the right spot. It's 2 yards forward from where it was incorrectly marked, and it's first and goal at the 3-yard line for Dickinson State. Darian Brown in the backfield with Will Madler. Fake and a throw to the left. It went off the shoulder of Benners, who was in the way of Samaj Clark, but legally. And it'll be second down and goal. Jordan, 15 yards now for Dickinson State offensively. They've basically doubled the Jimmies, 215 to 106, but 110 rushing and 105 passing for this efficient offense, trying to win the NSAA championship and the last one, and trying to win the league for the 10th year in a row. Second and goal, Jamestown 3 for Dickinson State. Hand off to Brown, off an ankle tackle, scoots his way into the end zone, touchdown. Second rushing score of the year for Darian Brown. And again, Dickinson State moves the ball most smartly and scores. Short field, and the penalty helped that drive along, certainly the pass interference penalty. Chase Miller will try to make it 3 of 3 on extra points. Madler the holder, Brian Rack the snapper. Snap is good, hold is good, kick is good. 4:39 left in the first half at Hanson Stadium, and now on the Gunner Real Sports scoreboard, Dickinson State 21, Jamestown 7 on Jamestown 107.1. This is the voice of the Jimmies.
Need some custom screen-printed T-shirts? Lots of T-shirts? You need originals.
Originals!
Or do you just need one shirt with your corporate logo for the new guy?
Originals!
Caps, jackets, U sizes, adult sizes, Blue Jay apparel, Jimmy apparel. You need originals. There you have it, folks. For custom-printed apparel, embroidery, and work apparel, it's Originals. They can also do online stores for your sports team or business. 216 First Avenue, downtown Jamestown. Open 9 to 5 weekdays. Visit originals.com.
5-play, 52-yard scoring drive for Dickinson State, taking 2:02, ending with a Darian Brown touchdown run after that fake punt that, frankly, didn't have much of a chance of working, gave Dickinson State a short field. Chase Miller is set to boot it. Isaiah Roebuck driven back to his 12-yard line, right side, 15, 20, 25, 30-yard line. Another good return, taking some tacklers with him and out of bounds outside the 40-yard line of Jamestown, and Roebuck has had 2 good kickoff returns today. That one is to the Jamestown 41 with 4:32 left in the half. Our opening kickoff, as always, brought to you by RM Stout. They're your Ford, Dodge, and Jeep dealer in Jamestown. They'll also bring you our halftime report. We'll look at the stats. You'll hear from Daniel Erlinson and scores from college and high school playoff football today. Dawson Schmidt is wide to the right and 3 to the left. Encino, Hoffman, and Roebuck for Jamestown on 1st and 10 from their 41. But the hand is a fake to the running back, and Gran moves around left end and is forward for 5 yards. Good little run by John. As it's Riley O'Donnell to bring him in. That's 4-yard gain to the 45-yard line. Gavin Bloomdahl is in the backfield right now for the Jimmies, the redshirt junior from Hermantown, Minnesota. And in there again, same setup as before, 3 receivers left. Encino, Roebuck, Erastus, you're offside, man. Ooh, now I don't think he is. Looked like he was a moment ago. But it's a snap to Grant and a throw left. Open is Hoffman and makes the catch and is out of bounds at the Dickinson State 49 for a first down. Encino had lined up a little past the line of scrimmage, the 45, but then the ball was placed forward a little bit. They'll put this play to the 48-yard line of Dickinson State for a gain of 7 and a first down. 6th of the game for Jamestown. Nate Burke on a wing to the right along with Gage Solano. Burke caught the touchdown pass earlier. Orbit motion and a pitch pass to Roback around right end, 45-yard line. Jumps ahead to the 42-yard line of Dickinson State. Joey DeMarco, the free safety, grabbed him by the ankle, but that little pitch pass off the sweep worked well. Another one of the variations of that play that has happened in the Jamestown offense. Again, it is Brian Mistro with a team of coaches helping him, but it's his final say on the plays. 2nd down and 4, 42-yard line of Dickinson State for the Jimmies, 2:45 in the half, 21-7 DSU. Caleb Powell comes in motion. The fake and a throw to the left. Flat is incomplete and nearly intercepted. Joey DeMarco pounds his fist on the turf as he felt he should have had. He's right. His 6th career interception, but came out of his hand. Sixth interception for DSU from Oswego, Illinois, a transfer from Minnesota State CTC. 3rd and 4 Jamestown at DSU's 42 with 2:34 in the half. Now 2 receivers set each way. Moving on the backfield beside John Grand. 4-man front. Grand, quick throw left. Roebuck caught it, 38, down to the 36 of Dickinson State. Good enough for a first down. Cooper McLaughlin stopped him, but Roebuck is forward to the 26-yard line, 36, I should say, of Dickinson State with his 4th catch today. Down to 2:10 in the half. Jimmies do not have to snap it again before the 2-minute timeout. They do break the huddle. Schmidt is wide to the right and Roebuck to the left, and they will not snap it before the 2-minute.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
That's what it is. With 1:59 left in the half, they will reset it to 2. Dickinson State leads Jamestown on the Gunner Real Sports Scoreboard 21-7 on Jamestown 107.1. This is the voice of the Jimmies.
Buffalo City Diesel Jamestown is your one-stop shop for experienced truck services. Their top-notch techs are trained in the latest technology and can identify and fix problems in your medium or heavy-duty diesel trucks and buses. Buffalo City Diesel also offers roadside assistance, trailer services, and truck parts. Call Buffalo City Diesel today at 701-253-2844. That's Buffalo City Diesel at 701-253-2844.
Jamestown's all their timeouts. Down 14 to Dickinson State, 21-7, and they're at the Blue Hawks 36 out of the 2-minute timeout. Dickinson State has had 3 most efficient scoring drives today. They've outgained the Jimmies 218 to 129. Ethan Hoffman slot right, Dawson Schmidt wide to the right. 2 receivers to the left, 2 for Jamestown. 1st and 10, Dickinson State 36. Andrews moves to a tight end slot, and they hand it off Hammond. Oh, he's in big trouble and down in the backfield. Nathaniel Jellick, the junior from Dickinson Trinity, was first there to bring down Hammond for a loss of 4. Another one of those plays where it's a stretch handoff, but the tacklers, they're standing and waiting. 2nd down and 14, Jamestown at the Dickinson State 40. 90 seconds to go in the first half. 3 receivers right the wide side and 1 left. John Grand looks at a 3-man front. He throws to the right flat, diving, turning around, catching at the 30-yard line. There's Dawson Schmidt. We told you he's only had 2 catches in the last 4 games, and both of those 2 weeks ago here against Dakota State in the win, but he has one there for a gain down to the 30-yard line of Dickinson State for 10 to set up 3rd down and 3. 3rd down and 4, I should say. Jimmy's 4 of 7 on 3rd down today. 49 seconds left in the half. They are conserving their timeouts to now. 43 seconds. Snap to Grand. Throw in the left flat. Wide open as Hoffman caught it. 25-20 and out of bounds at the 15-yard line of Dickinson State. Jamestown for 15 yards on a first down. There wasn't anybody close to Ethan Hoffman there. And the redshirt freshman from Flandreau, South Dakota, has his 3rd catch today. Clock stop, 36 seconds in the half. 3 receivers to the right. Hoffman, Encino, and Schmidt. Roebuck to the left. 1st and 10. Dickinson State 15 for Jamestown. Grand, where will he go this one? Looks to the right. Receivers are covered, and he tries to run forward and is down at the 16 by Dylan Dahlgren. That's 6.5 sacks for him now. And Jamestown calls the first of their 3 Hillerud Construction timeouts. It's down to 30 seconds to go in the first half. It's a loss of 2. That is continuing to be just a huge, huge number for Dickinson State. That is their 21st sack of the year. Dahlgren has 6.5. Brooks Talbot has 3. Riley Waters 1.5. Nathaniel Gillick has 1. Wyatt Anderson has a couple. Matt Anderson, the former Blue Jay, has 2. We talked about that in our pregame with Brian Mistro. Got to protect Grand today. But there's the first sack they have allowed. 2nd down and 12, Jamestown, 17-yard line of Dickinson State. 21-7 DSU, 30 seconds to go in the half, still 2 timeouts. No wideouts. Snap to Grand. Pressure again. Throw to the left into the end zone. Diving. It is caught. Touchdown. Roebuck kind of curled over and came down with it at the front left part of the end zone. That was right before Dylan Dahlgren smacked Grand again. But Johnny has 2 touchdown passes, and the Jimmies are back within a score. And Onan Peterson will try to make it a 7-point game with the extra point. And Roebuck was fairly open there, too. Low throw, but he caught it. And the extra point kicked through by Onan Peterson. It's good. A 1-score game again. 25 seconds left in the first half. Dickinson State 21. Jamestown 14 on Jamestown 107.1. This is the voice of the Jimmies.
The Frontier Fort invites you in for a true Dakota Territory dining experience. This unique location looks like an authentic 1800s fort. Head upstairs and you'll be greeted with the mouth-watering aroma of freshly grilled ribeyes and barbecued ribs. They're open from 4 to 9 Monday through Saturday, and their legendary prime rib is served on Fridays and Saturdays. Now hiring a full-time or part-time cook. Call 252-7492. The Frontier Fort, on the road to the Buffalo, Jamestown.
Now Onan Peterson will kick, with Darian Brown and Jackson Weenbar waiting inside their 15. 21-14 Dickinson State. Down to 25 seconds left in the first half. And Peterson with a squibber kick. And it's taken by the up man at his 28 down to the 33-yard line. Tries to cut outside and is back at the 30. That is Ivan Austrie. Dylan Lichty was back there to stop him, the redshirt freshman from Huron, South Dakota, for the Jimmies. So what will Dickinson State do here? They're back at their 30. They know Jamestown still has a couple of timeouts, but there are only 17 seconds to go. But here they are sending 3 receivers to the right. And you know Madler's got an arm. Former Gatorade high school player of the year in South Dakota when Dickinson won that AAA title in 18. Nope, they hand it off with Brown, and a lot of room for him. 40-yard line, midfield, left sideline, 40. Darian Brown is forced out of bounds inside the 25-yard line of Jamestown, down to 7 seconds left in the half. But now the Blue Hawks can think about scoring again. And Darian Brown with an enormous run all the way to the 21-yard line of the Jimmies, who called their second timeout, a Hillerud construction timeout. But that's 49 for Darian Brown. He is now up to 71 yards. That is 162 yards rushing now in the first half for Dickinson State. Already above their average. They were at 144 coming in, the best in the league. So you try to stop the passing game, they'll run the ball on you. And Madler does have 105 yards passing, so not in the pace of what he did in Dickinson, but this team can run the ball too. They've got Zuroff and they've got Brown. And now they're at the Jamestown 21. Now Dickinson State has a couple of timeouts left too. There are only 7 seconds, but they have a chance for a couple of plays here. And they send Cale Gunlack, a sophomore from Great Falls, Montana, to the right, along with Samaj Clark. Look out for him. 2 receivers to the left. Snap back to Madler. Throwing to the right corner of the end zone. Looking for Clark, and incomplete. And in front of him was Russell. Now 2 seconds to go in the half. There will be one more play for Dickinson State. And it's going to be a kick by Chase Miller. Why not? He's a good kicker. He's 2 for 3 on field goals this year. He kicked a 43-yarder at Dakota State. This one from the left hash, spotted at the 28. It's a 38-yard attempt. Again, a little bit of wind out of the north, but not much. And Jamestown's going to call their last timeout.
Timeout, University of Jamestown. Third and final timeout of the half.
To make Miller think about it a little bit. So the big run play, a 49-yard run by Darian Brown, gives Dickinson State a chance for 3 more here at the end of the half. As the Jimmies, despite the fact that Dickinson State has run the ball all over Jamestown in the first half, the Jimmies remain right in this football game.
Your home for UJ Jimmy, AM 1400 KQDJ Jamestown and 107.1 K296HH Jamestown.
And remember that Jamestown will receive the second half kickoff. So after the timeout, to try to ice Miller a little bit, he'll try from 38. Well, Madler's the holder. Ryan Racht is the snapper. Snap right there. The kick on the way, and it is wide to the left. The margin remains 7 at the half. An end-over-end kick by Chase Miller, but he pushed it. And this is a 1-score game at the half as the Jimmies, trying for their first 3-game winning streak in 10 years, still have the chance to pull off the big upset. Dickinson State needing only one more win in any of their last 3 to clinch their 10th straight and last NSAA conference title outright. They're going to the Frontier Conference back there next year, but the Jimmies are hanging tough with the 17th ranked team in the nation. At the half in the Gunner Real Sports scoreboard, it's Dickinson State 21, Jamestown 14. The RM Stout halftime report comes next from Hanson Stadium at Jamestown 107.1. This is the voice of the Jimmies.
Looking for one of the best ATVs on the planet? Then check out Honda 4Trax Foreman. There are 3 models to choose from, and they all offer strong swing-arm rear suspension that is perfect for hard work or towing. They all feature strong front and rear racks, plus a handy utility box for storage. So head to Gun & Reel Sports in 1st Street West, downtown Jamestown, and check out the new Honda Foreman. For riders 16 and older, Honda recommends all ATV riders take training course and read the owner's manual thoroughly.
Two Rivers Activity Center in Jamestown is hiring. Do you like interacting with people? Do you enjoy a fun, upbeat atmosphere and a clean workspace? If so, the perfect opportunity awaits you at Track. They're currently hiring for a variety of part-time positions for lifeguard and guest service and wellness attendants. They'll work with your existing schedule, whether you already have another job or are a college student. Check out trackjamestown.com to learn more about these positions and how to apply today.
Sign-on bonuses, $10,000 for full-time RNs or LPNs working PM or NOC shifts, and $10,000 for full-time NOC weekend package positions, and $5,000 for part-time PM shifts. Also offering $5,000 for full-time CNAs working PM shifts or weekend package, day, PM, or NOC shifts. Dietary positions available also. Apply at smphhealth.org/Ave Maria.
Quick Lane Jamestown is looking to add to their dynamic team of auto maintenance technicians. Business continues to grow, and they need to expand their staff. Are you a mechanical soul who'd like to work in a modern, clean, and busy shop? Light-duty work includes oil changes, tire rotates, vehicle inspections, maintenance and upkeep, and more. While working alongside an experienced team, and did we mention you get to work in an air-conditioned and heated shop? Competitive wages and benefits offered. Apply online through Facebook or stoutcars.com. Call 701-252-2270 or simply stop by. Claim your career today at RM Stout.
Where do you find the friendliest staff, largest selection, lowest prices, and the freshest produce? Hugo's in Jamestown. But what if you can't go to the store? Hugo's Family Marketplace offers online shopping. You can shop all the departments and all the sales at GoHugos.com. Choose pickup or Hugo's delivery service, and they'll do the in-store shopping for you. Hugo's Family Marketplace online shopping at GoHugos.com.
You're gonna find more low prices, more great stuff when you go to Hugo's. Well, all the summer vacation driving is over, and now it's time for school activities driving. Have you looked at your tires? How many miles are on them? How's that tread? The wear? Are they cupping? Bring your vehicle to Mike and the crew at Pit Stop Express Lube. Have them take a look. As a locally owned shop, they care more about you and your family's safety than that sale, so they'll recommend the best fit for your needs. Stop into Pit Stop Express Lube at 117 4th Street Northwest, Jamestown, or call 952-7867. That's 952-7867.
On a chilly gray day at Raleigh-Greeno Field at Charlotte and Gordon Hanson Stadium, the University of Jamestown is hanging right with the 17th ranked team in the nation. It's Dickinson State 21, Jamestown 14 at halftime. David Burrow with you. Thank you for joining us on this Saturday afternoon. And remember, we've got basketball ahead for you. On the RM Stout halftime report here, it's brought to you by RM Stout. You know, they've had the right value since 1941. Dickinson State took the lead, scoring on their second possession, ending a 64-yard drive with a 12-yard touchdown pass from Will Madler to Samaj Clark, and Chase Miller's extra point made it 7-0 for Dickinson State. But Jamestown responded on the next drive, and Nate Burke had his first two career catches. First, a 45-yarder to put the Jimmies of the DSU 9, and then he caught the 9-yard touchdown pass from Grant, and Onan Peterson's extra point tied it at 7, and that's the way it was at the end of one quarter. But just 3 seconds into the second quarter, after the end of another good drive for Dickinson State, they went 10 plays, 62 yards, and ended with a 3-yard touchdown run from Braden Zuroff, 14-7, Dickinson State. Jimmies couldn't move the ball, and later in the second quarter, Darian Brown's 3-yard touchdown run made it 21-7 for the Blue Hawks. But Jamestown took the next 4 minutes, and they moved the ball well and ended with a 17-yard touchdown pass from John Grand to Isaiah Roebuck with 25 seconds left in the half, and Betts brought the Jimmies back to within one score, with Dickinson State leading by a score of 21-14. First half stats: Dickinson State outgained the Jimmies 267-165. Already 162 yards rushing for Dickinson State, 105 passing, only 22 yards rushing for the Jimmies, and 143 passing. Jamestown 5 of 8 so far in third down. Dickinson State 2 of 4 Dickinson State one more play from scrimmage than Jamestown, 33-32. Not many penalties. One on Dickinson State for 15 yards, two for Jamestown for 20. Little bit of a time of possession advantage for Dickinson State, 15-23 to 14-37. Only one sack, and that's not too bad considering all the sacks that Dickinson State has had, but they've only had one today, and that was a turnover-free first half. Back, the Jimmies have played 6 quarters now against Dickinson State and not turned it over. Offensively for the Blue Hawks, well, as we say, they ran it and ran it. Braden Zuroff, 11 carries, 78 yards and a score. Darian Brown, 5 carries, 71 and a score. Will Madler, not the big numbers so far today like he put up in the game in Dickinson, but he's been good. 8 of 14, 105 yards and a touchdown. Samaj Clark, 4 catches, 51 yards and that score. Gage Gilbert, 2 for 28. John Graham with a good first half, 14 of 20, 143 yards and 2 touchdowns. 1 to Nate Burke. The second of those back-to-back catches, the first 2 of his Jamestown career, 54 yards. Isaiah Roebuck, 5 for 42 and a touchdown, 3 for Ethan Hoffman, 2 for Zach Hammett, but Hammett was held just 16 yards rushing on 6 carries. Defensively, Dickinson State spread out the tackles. 3 for Shell Osborne, 3 for Jaden Hartwell, and several with 2 for Jamestown. Parker Chafee with a big first half with 6 tackles for the Jimmies. 21-14, Jamestown leads Dickinson State at the half. Daniel Erlinson, you'll hear from him next here on the R.M. Stout Halftime Show on Jamestown 107.1. This is the voice of the Jimmies.
At Essentia Health, we know that together we can live healthier. We also know that the best way to protect yourself and your loved ones is to get vaccinated. That's why Essentia Health encourages everyone to get a flu shot this fall. Flu season usually starts in October and can last until May, so it's important to get vaccinated early. Vaccines are covered by most insurances and are available for people 6 months of age and older. Schedule your flu shot online today at essentiahealth.org/flu or call your local Essentia Health clinic or pharmacy to learn more.
Here's your forecast from Ag Central meteorologist Mick Kerr. This afternoon, sunny with a high of 48 and a southeast wind gusting at 20 at times. For tonight, rain likely, mainly after 1 a.m. Sunday morning. Increasing clouds with a low around 36. Chance of rain about 60%. Amounts less than 1/10 of an inch. There's your forecast. For more, log on to our website, newsdakota.com.
Johnny B's Brickhouse, famous for their pizza, but wait, there's pasta, and their amazing wings, and fresh ground hamburgers, tasty salads and appetizers too. And for dessert, you can't beat their sweet sticks. Come on out for Tuesday night trivia and live entertainment every Thursday night. The place to be is Johnny B's, smack dab in the middle of Main Street, downtown Jamestown. And remember, for delivery and carryout, call 952-8777.
A good one at Hanson Stadium at the half. Dickinson State ranked 17th in the country in the NAIA football and trying to wrap up the NSAA regular season title outright, but Jamestown's right there with them, trailing by only 7 at 21-14. Daniel Erlinson has been credited with 1 tackle today and has had a steady year for the Jimmies, and the senior from Breckenridge, Minnesota was visited with earlier this week by
2
PJ.
straight wins. Vibes are pretty good around here right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time coming for this team. I wouldn't say anything has changed. I think since the beginning of the season, win or lose, I think every week we've been putting in our full effort, and yeah.
Last 2 games, the defense has only given up 1 touchdown in each. Do you feel like you're playing as well as you have, both individually and as a group, these last 2 weeks?
Yeah, us as a defense, we've been clicking. Just working together. We're only doing our 111th. That's something our coaches have been harping on, is just doing your job and trusting everyone. And it's shown that we've trusted each other these past couple of weeks.
So we see the videos on social media. How rewarding is it at the end of a long week of work to have Coach Mistro up on the benches and you guys getting hype after a game and after a win?
Yeah, I mean, you'd like to say there's no difference between winning and losing, but that's just not true. I mean, I even told my family after the game this past week and the week before, I was like, this is way better than losing. Like, I was less sore on Sunday. I was re-energized, and I think I can say that for the whole team.
So you're a senior. What has this journey been like? I mean, progressively each year you've been, more and more important to this defense. What has this been like, this whole experience of being a Jimmy?
A lot of people never get the chance in their life to do something worthwhile. And I'd say Jimmy football is something worthwhile. You might tell stories about fun and games. Not many people get the chance to work your hardest for 4 years straight and give your all and all your heart and soul into a sole purpose of playing for you and playing for your teammates and playing for your family.
So you being a senior, you're about to get your degree. What's your degree in, and then what's next for Daniel Erlinson?
Yeah, well, I'm a pre-PT guy, so I have another 3 years of school after this. I'll either be at the UJ school in Fargo or maybe the UND school in Grand Forks. So that's my plan. I also plan on coaching high school football or wrestling. Yep.
That'll be awesome. Well, Daniel, continued success, and thanks so much for doing this.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
That's a good young man, and whatever he wants to do, Daniel Erlinson will do it well. Dickinson State 21, Jamestown 14 at the half on the Gunner Reel Sports Scoreboard. The RM Stout Halftime Report continues with a look at other Jimmy sports and other scores next on Jamestown 107.1. This is the voice of the Jimmies.
Do you want to make sure homework time isn't spent on games and video streaming? Dakota Central can help. With Experience IQ, you set limits to ensure your kids aren't playing when they should be doing homework. With premium managed Wi-Fi from Dakota Central, you can create healthier internet habits for your children from the easy-to-use Command IQ app. Learn more about premium Wi-Fi and Experience IQ today at dakotacentral.com.
Otter Tail Power Company would like to remind you about the importance of high school athletics in the lives of children. Those extracurricular activities play a role in the education and development of those kids involved and provide a way for kids to learn some of life's most important lessons. Lessons that'll take them through life with a sense of accomplishment and pride. Otter Tail Power Company would like to salute those athletes, coaches, and fans who make every season one to remember.
Why choose Professional Eye Care Centers? 3 great reasons are Dr. Bond, Dr. Freilich, and Dr. Jangula, 3 of the most educated professional optometrists you'll ever meet. Next is their many locations. You can now see one of their spectacular doctors in Jamestown, Valley City, Carrington, Edgeley, Ellendale, and Lemoore. And finally, their fantastic selection. And yes, all of their frames and lenses are backed up by warranty. Visit ProEyeCareCenters.com and make an appointment today. Professional Eye Care Centers, clearly the best.
Jamestown fighting hard, trailing Dickinson State only by 7 at the half, 21-14. The Armstown halftime report from Hanson Stadium. We look at other Jimmy sports. I tell you, that Division I men's hockey team's on a roll. 12-0 and leading today against Waldorf 9-1 as they play. What is it, Max? It's over. 9-1. They're on 13-0, and that team is absolutely rolling. Thanks, Max. The night invite for swimming and diving ended earlier today, and we'll update you on that as the weekend continues at newsdakota.com. And also wrestling getting going with the Jimmy Open today as the men's wrestling, they get their season going. Now, remember, we are part of a football-basketball doubleheader because later today at Harold Newman Arena, it's the debut for Casey Brueggemann as Jimmy men's basketball head coach, and with a team that looks like it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Briarcliff, the opponent, the former GPAC foe. BJ will join me for that one, and we'll have that not long after we get done with Jimmy football here on Jamestown 107.1. The Jimmy women are in Salina, Kansas, where they defeated Bethel College yesterday 90-67 behind the 32 points of Kate Cordes. And this evening they'll try for a 2-0 start as they take on Kansas Wesleyan. Now, for Jimmy Volleyball, their next action is on Thursday night at home, and their final regular season match is they'll host Minot State. We'll have that for you here on Jamestown 107.1 at 6:45. But we now know that Bellevue has earned the top seed for the NSAA tournament after they defeated Mayville State today in straight sets, and they beat VCSU last night. Both Bellevue and the Jimmies ended at 9-1, but due to head-to-head points won, Bellevue wins the tiebreak, so they and not Jamestown will host the NSAA semifinals and finals on the 15th and 16th of November. Other football action, just one other game in the NSAA today. That's all that's possible with a 5-team league. VCSU got out of their doldrums with a 10-6 win over Mayville State over at Logan Stadium in Valley City. Avery Thorsgaard, the go-ahead touchdown pass late in the third to Trent Finney for the Vikings. Remember, 2 weeks from today, after the Jimmies have one more bye week next week, it is the last, for now, edition of the Paint Bucket game as the Jimmies will host VCSU. That's 2 weeks from today here at Hanson Stadium. The Jimmies' future, of course, is the NSIC. Augustana, when they knocked off Mankato last week, took the league lead, and the Vikings improved to 7-1 in conference today with a 28-7 win over Concordia St. Paul in Sioux Falls. Minnesota State is leading Northern State and Aberdeen 24-14 with just over 2 minutes to go. Wayne State have moved to within a half game, but then they fell today in Bemidji to Bemidji State 37-20. MSU Moorhead outlasted Minot State out in Minot today 42-38. It was Minnesota Duluth winning in Winona over Winona State. That also was 42-38. And the University of Mary, they had not won since beating the Jimmies in the season opener. They won today in Marshall over Southwest Minnesota State 15-6. North Dakota State playing well. Northern Iowa has just scored over at the Fargo Dome, but the Bison with a big week, 35-9 with 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. And North Dakota fell to 5-4 today, losing to Indiana State in Terre Haute, 35-31. High school football, the Class A and 9-man playoffs in the quarterfinal round today. Both of the area teams were winners. Lemoore, Litchfield, Marion, another rout, this time of South Prairie Max, 73-20, and they will host, this should be some game next Saturday, Linton Hazelton, Moffett, Braddock, Strasburg, Zeeland. They were 30-18 winners over Cavalier. That's next Saturday, and that'll be on the Tornado, 1220, 95.9, 100.3. And for New Rockford, Cheyenne Maddock, another win for the Rockets today, 10-0 after beating Grant County Flasher and New Rockford 54-40. And they get West Hope, Newburgh, Glenburn next Saturday afternoon in New Rockford, and that'll be on the Cardinals, 1600, 100.1. New Rockford's where BJ was today. He'll join us later for Jimmy basketball. So you'll have 4 10-0 teams playing in the semifinals in 9-man. In Class A, Kindred got taken a little bit down the line, but defeated Shiloh Christian today 39-20. Central Cass is leading Bishop Ryan 13-7 there early in the third quarter. Velvet, Garrison, Drake Animus, no problem with Harvey Wells County, winning 44-13. However, Langdon area Edmore Munich knocked off Kildare. First loss for Kildare. Langdon wins on the road today 44-41, so they'll have to make another trip out west next week to go to Velva. Of course, it's over for the Jamestown Blue Jays after they fell last night in the quarterfinals in AA to Horace 14-0. Hawks get Minot North next week. It'll be Red River and Wahpeton also next week after the Huskies knocked off Valley City last night 48-30. Here we're ready for the second half. Jamestown will receive the second half kickoff down to Dickinson State 21-14. Chase Miller ready to kick it. Ray Benners and Isaiah Roebuck are deep. The second half kickoff is brought to you by RM Stout, your Ford, Dodge, and Jeep dealer in Jamestown. Jimmy's from left to right in this third quarter. Taken by Roebuck at his 15, right sideline 20, 25, 30, and at his 35 stopped, but not quite. Keeps going and takes a couple of Blue Hawks with him down to his 40. Jamin Medlock, the junior from Billings, Montana, thought he had it wrapped up to the 35, but Isaiah kept those legs churning and gained 5 more to his 40. So that's where the Jimmies will start, down 7. Yes, Dickinson State with a big running first half, but 2 efficient scoring drives with 3 efficient scoring drives by Dickinson State, but the Jimmies are right in this game. Let's see if they can run the ball in the second half. 1st and 10 from their 40. 1 receiver split each way. Blitz Wook, they hand it to Hammett. Left guard, 43-yard line. He is upended there by the safety Joey DeMarco. And they had a blitz look from the other corner. Thinking that the Jimmies might put the ball up in the air to start the half, but they didn't. Now Jamestown in black tops, orange numerals and letters and white trim and white pants with orange helmets are 2nd and 7 from their 43. Dickinson State, white tops, navy blue numerals and pants with gray helmets with a blue stripe. In orbit motion is Roebuck. Takes around left end, 45. Isaiah to his 48 and down there. But student body left on that sweep to the left side. Riley Waters was over to stop him. But it's 5 more for the man, his teammates, and coaches call Zane. It's 3rd down and 2 for the Jimmies. Again, good on 3rd down in the first half. They were 5 of 8, and they need about 2 1/4 yards here. Line to gain is right on the midfield stripe. Cody Pelleton slot wide, Isaiah Roebuck wide right. That's the wide side of the field. They're at the left hash. From left to right are the Jimmies. From north to south, snap to Grant, throw right, opens Roebuck, caught it, 48 of Dickinson State, tried a spin move, pulled down to the 47, but that's enough for a first down by Jack Hartman. 5 more, and Roebuck has 7 catches now today, and that ties the most he's ever had in one game. He had 7 catches, 106 yards against Dakota Wesleyan a couple of years ago. Now, look at this formation. 4 receivers to the left in side-by-side, 2x2 stacks, and a receiver to the right. 1st and 10, Dickinson State 47. Grand quick throw right. It's Roebuck again. There is catch number 8, and he is wrapped up at the 39-yard line of Dickinson State by Jaden Hartwell. So there's the first 8-catch game for Isaiah Roebuck as a Jimmy. It's a 7-yard gain to the 40-yard line of the Blue Hawks. Jimmy's taking the opening drive of the second half. Started from their 40 after a good Roebuck return. Dawson Schmidt wide left. Slot to the left is Ethan Hoffman. And Roebuck's to the right. Wing to the right is Caleb Powell. 2nd down 3, Jamestown at the Dickinson State 40. Zach Hammond in the backfield behind. Grant is in the pistol and a hand to Hammond. Right guard, 40-35. There's good room for the first time today. Really for Hammond, and upended to the 32 of Dickinson State for a first down again by Jack Hartman. But Hartman saved a big gain and maybe a score. Head over heels went Zach, but he comes to the Jimmy bench. And Jamestown keeps this drive going. They've taken the first 3.5 minutes of the third quarter. They're 1st and 10 at Dickinson State's 32, down 7. 3 receivers left and 1 to the right. Powell in motion back to the right. Snap to Grant. Quick throw right. Roebuck again with the catch. And he's out of bounds at the 24-yard line of Dickinson State for 8 more. Hey, and some fan you may have heard just say, taking what they're giving us. Yeah, they're letting them have these underneath routes, which is a little surprising, but it's what they're doing. And Gran is now 18 of 24 for 168 yards, and that's 9 catches for Roebuck. Again, a 5-receiver set with 4 and 2x2 stacks to the left. Now Roebuck goes that way too. And Gran, guess where he's going to throw? Well, to the left side. And catching it and dropping it is Schumacher. Well, it was a difficult catch in the end zone. Colton got way up there for it. The junior from Harriet, South Dakota, from that fine Harriet-Selby area program. Not really a drop, but the throw right on the money from Grant. And I tell you, this game today is the best Grant's played all year. You have one really big game last year, 381 yards against Morningside. Struggled last week before the big play to win it, but today Grant's looked good. 3 receivers left and 1 to the right. 3rd and 2 at the Dickinson State 24 for Jamestown. Handed to Hammett. Right guard, 20's got room here. 10, 5, touchdown Jamestown. Zach Hammett had an enormous hole at right guard. And the Jimmies are 1 extra point away from a tie game in the 3rd quarter. Hello. That's 5 straight games with a touchdown now for Zach Hammett, 1 in each. And Onan Peterson will try to tie this game up out of Gage Solano's hold. Austin Stowen, the snap. It's there, it's good. The kick is good. We're back where we started. 10:40 left 3rd quarter. On the Gun and Reel Sports scoreboard, how do you do? Jamestown 21, Dickinson State 21. On Jamestown 107.1, this is the voice of the Jimmies.
At Unison Bank, we provide financial solutions for customers to meet their needs today and achieve their dreams tomorrow. From personal banking services like checking accounts, mortgage, and auto loans, to business banking services. At Unison Bank, we offer financial solutions with prompt responses and quality service. Visit unisonbank.com for more information. Located in Jamestown, Linton, and Wishick, as well as Gilbert, Arizona. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Jamestown takes the first 4:20 of the second half. 8 plays 60 yards. Roebuck with catches during that drive, but Zach Hammett ran the last 24, and Onan Peterson's extra point has tied this game at 21. Now Onan's ready to kick, with Darian Brown and Jackson Wienbar to receive it, and this one's going to come on a couple of hops to Wienbar from his 14. Jackson to the 20, right side, 25, good pursuit, and he's down. Gabe Crick, the senior from Westbrook, Minnesota, made a good special teams play there for the Jimmies. Now it's up to Jamestown's defense. Dickinson State will start from their 25. The running game with both Braden Zuroff and Darian Brown was strong in the first half. It's Brown who's in there now beside Will Madler. 2 receivers right and 1 to the left. Left hash, wide side right. 1st and 10 Dickinson State, they're 25. Hand to Brown, up the middle, more big room, 30, 35, he's all the way to his 40. Today they have not missed a beat when they have taken out Zuroff and put in Brown. David Diaz Jr. the stop, but not until Brown made 15 more. He's at 86 yards now and only 6 carries. 1st and 10 Dickinson State, they're 40. 2 receivers right and 1 to the left. Madler, long count. Fake to Brown, throw left. Samaj Clark the catch at his 48. Stiff arms Benners as he goes out of bounds near midfield. And close to that first down marker they need. Well, let's say he stepped out. Well, that's right on the midfield stripe, and that's where they need it for another first down. There's 5 catches today for Clark for 61 yards. And that's 18 first downs already for Dickinson State. Their 1st and 10 at midfield. And off to a fake to Brown. Throw to the right. This is caught by Clark. 45. Breaks the tackle. 40. Right sideline. 30-yard line and out of bounds. No, excuse me. Calderon, not Clark. Adrian Calderon with that catch. So he has another. And that's 20 more yards. And now they're going to the passing game again. 1st and 10 Dickinson State, Jamestown's 30. In a tie game at 21, Clock runs 9:18 in the third on the Gunner Real Sports scoreboard. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Hand to Brown at right guard, 28-yard line. Ooh, stacked up this time. Parker and others just would not let him any further from the 1 yard he gained. Calderon out as Gage Gilbert brought in a play. No huddle here, but Will Madler's looking toward the sideline, and their veteran offensive coordinator, Russell McCarville. Pete Stanton's a good coach and has plenty of good coaches by his side. 2nd and 9, Jamestown 21. Snap is back to Madler. Throws to the right, caught, but a knee put down by Kyle Meineke. And it gained only a yard to the 28. He tried to run forward. The official said, nope, you touched your knee down, and now it's 3rd and 8. Dickinson State's only been to 3rd down 4 times today. They've converted 2. Ethan Gall in for the Jimmies. As Dickinson State sets up 3rd and 8 at the Jamestown 28. Samaj Clark to the left along with Adrian Calderon. That's the wide side. Kyle Meineke is to the right. Back to throw is Madler at the 36 on 3rd down, throws left, open Brown, 30-yard line, 25, breaks through a tackle and is across the 20. That should be enough for a 1st down for Dickinson State. Jacob Van Lith was there and so was Ray Benners, but they couldn't wrap up in time. And in fact, it's down to the 19-yard line of Jamestown for a 1st down after a gain of 9. Darian Brown's having quite a nice day. 87 yards rushing. There was his first catch. 1st and 10, Dickinson State. Jamestown's 19. 1 receiver each way. Handed to Brown around right. And wrapped up from behind Van Lith. Getting a chance to play today, and he's happy. The redshirt freshman from Sutherland, Iowa, made a very good stop on Brown there and held him to no gain. 7 minutes left, 3rd quarter. If you're just joining us, yes, this is correct. It's a tie game at 21 on the Gunner Real Sports scoreboard. Dickinson State, ranked number 17 in the country, trying to wrap up the NSAA title. Jimmies haven't beaten this team since 2007. Brian Mistro was starting at safety that day. Jimmies are looking for their first 3-game winning streak in 10 years. 2nd down and 10, Dickinson State at the Jamestown 19. 2 receivers each way. Madler, some protection, now it breaks down. Now he's being chased and runs right, 20-yard line, and takes a hit at the 15, forward to around the 14-yard line of the Jimmies, and that was well done on the scramble by Madler. There were 3 Jimmies chasing him, but was able to make something out of that play and set up 3rd down and, well, reasonable. 3rd and 5 at the 14-yard line of Jamestown. The crowd's cold, but they're enthusiastic. Can't hear applaud with the mittens on, but some folks have cowbells. 6:05 in the 3rd. Dickinson State 3rd and 5, the Jamestown 14. Meineke in motion to the left, now back to the right. And throwing to the right and outstretched with a catch to the 5 and down to the 2-yard line is Jackson Simonson, the sophomore from Great Falls, Montana. And all the way down to the 2-yard line, and it's 1st down and goal. Simonson, first time we've seen him on the field even today, but he made a catch in the game in Dickinson, and he makes a big one there to put Dickinson State 2 yards from regaining the lead. Samaj Clark is to the left this time. He's wide, and on slot left is Kyle Meineke. Right hash, 1st and goal for Dickinson State at the Jamestown 2-yard line. Simonson in the backfield, fake to him. Throw left, and incomplete. As well covered was Calderon by Ray Benners. Hit him just as the ball came to the freshman and separated the ball from Adrian Calderon. Now 2nd down and goal at the Jamestown 2 for Dickinson State. 5:13 on the 3rd quarter clock and a tie game at 21. Coach is encouraging the crowd to keep making noise for the Jimmy defense. Austrian motion. Now they hand it to Simonson. He slipped down. Well, some rain yesterday and some fog this morning, and Simonson slipped on this sprint turf. And it is back to the 3 where it's 3rd down and goal. Now Simonson out and Darian Brown's back in the backfield. We haven't seen Zuroff for a while, but Brown's been more than good. 3rd and goal, Dickinson State of the Jamestown 3. Motion man to the left, Meineke. Madler's back to throw. Middle of the end zone, caught, touchdown. It was the man in motion, Kyle Meineke. And there is his first career touchdown reception to put Dickinson State back into the lead with 4:33 left in the 3rd quarter. The junior from Sheridan, Wyoming was the man in motion and then cut to the middle of the end zone, and Madler zipped it to him. Chase Miller will try the extra point. Madler's holding. Snap from Racht is good. The hold is good. The kick is good. 4:33 left in the 3rd, and Dickinson State regains the advantage over Jamestown. 28-21. On the Gun and Reel Sports Scoreboard on Jamestown 107.1, this is the voice of the Jimmies.
Building a business requires strength, courage, and a solid reputation. So, when you're ready to build a building to house your business or remodel your existing business, you want the same qualities in your commercial construction contractor. And that's where Hillerud Construction comes in. Trusted, experienced builders who specialize in commercial building construction. Their experience saves you time, stress, and money. So visit HillerudConstruction.com and let's get building.
Well, my mistake, not Meineke, but it was Gage Gilbert, the tight end, catching the touchdown, and that is the 2nd for the freshman. And it ends another solid Dickinson State drive. 12 plays, 75 yards. Took 6:07. Now the kick is caught by Isaiah Robeck back at his 13, right to the 20, 25. Ran into a blocker and then is pulled down at his 30-yard line. And pulled down there by Jamin Medlock. So the touchdown pass from Will Madler to Gage Gilbert puts Dickinson State back in front, but only by 7, 28-21, and a lot of game to go. 4:27 in the 3rd, and a lot still to go here on Jamestown 107.1. So we have basketball this evening from Harold Newman Arena. The Jimmies and the Briarcliff Chargers in the debut for Casey Brueggemann as men's head coach. And we'll have that for you not long after we get into football here. Snap to Grand and throws to the right. Orestes Ancino leaps out to make the catch, and a ball that was behind him. Well done by Orestes. And he's down, and it's good for 5 to the Jamestown 35. That's his 2nd catch today. Roebuck now with 9 for 67 yards, by the way. And Grant is now 19, I should say, out of 26 for 173 yards. Stack of 2 receivers each way for Jamestown on 2nd and 5 from their 35. Grand handoff out of this to Zach Hammett. Around left end, 38-yard line, and then 3 Blue Hawks are waiting. Hammett trying to push his way forward still, and does so all the way to the 40, and that is enough for a 1st down. Another good determined run by Zach Hammett. Well, the 16 yards in the first half, but he's up to 56 now with that carry on 10 carries. That was just sheer will to push forward for the last 3 yards of that run by Zach. 1st and 10 Jamestown from their 40. 3 receivers right and 1 to the left. Gran, play fake to Hammett. Look out, he's in trouble, and 2 Blue Hawks back at the 32 have him down. One was Wyatt Anderson. And the pocket closed in on John really fast there. The 2nd sack of the day for Dickinson State. Loss of 8 all the way back to the Jamestown 32. Wyatt Anderson and the former Blue Jay Matt Anderson combined on that sack. Second down, 18. A three-receiver set to the right and one to the left again for the Jimmies. From left to right, blitz look, and Grand with a little delay handoff finds Hammett, but he is brought down at his 34 after only a couple. Jack Hartman stayed at home coming out of his safety spot. That's worked a couple of times where they've shown blitz and the Jimmies have run, and Hartman's come up to make a good open field play. And the Jimmies way behind the chains here. 3rd and 16 from their 34. Now 7 of 10 today. Best they've been on third down all year, but work to do here.
Timeout. University of Jamestown. First charged. Timeout.
A Hillary Construction timeout with 1:47 left in the third. Dickinson State leads the Jimmies 28-21 on Jamestown 107.1. This is the voice of the Jimmies.
You know you don't really want that hurry-up, bought on the cheap, not sure what I got insurance coverage. Good, because Farmers Union insurance agents do things just a little different. We'll work with you personally for home, auto, business, or farm insurance and tailor the exact coverage plan you need, because we're not satisfied until you are. Different? You bet. Farmers Union Insurance. Simply different.
Good luck to the Blue Jays and Jimmies from your local Farmers Union agent, Steve Benyon.
Not all products underwritten by Farmers Union Insurance.
Something was not quite right, and a rather agitated Jimmy head coach Brian Mistro called that timeout. And out of it, the Jimmies are 3rd and 16 from their 34. 3 receivers right and 1 to the left. 28-21, Dickinson State. 1:47 left in the third. Big play here for the Jimmies. Again, way behind those chains. Snap to Grand. He's back to his 26. Here comes pressure. He throws long right once. Encino. He juggled it and caught it at the 22-yard line and out of bounds. The coverage couldn't have been better by Cooper McLaughlin. And John let that ball go, Grand did, just before Dylan Dahlgren smacked him, but it's all the way to the 23-yard line for a 44-yard play. And I think McLaughlin got a hand on that ball too, and Isaiah still caught it. And now he has a career high in receiving yards for one game with 110 off his 10th catch. That's also a career high. 1st and 10 Jamestown. Dickinson State 23 and timeout.
Timeout. University of Jamestown. Ooh. Second charge. Time of the half.
Oh boy, only one left. With 1:12 left in the third, we'll keep it here for this one. Oh boy, if this game does remain tight, you want those timeouts, but our friend Tom Hager doing a little bit of a pose to emulate what Roebuck did on that catch. He had to reach out for it, and again, I think McLaughlin got a hand on that, and then it went off Isaiah's hand in the air and right back into his while he was in midair. This is a career day receiving for the senior from Marana, Arizona. 10 catches, 110 yards, and a touchdown. Now the Jimmies out of their timeout. Again, the second one they've had to use, a Hillary Construction timeout. Our 1st and 10 at the Dickinson State 23. Down 28-21. 1:12 left in the third at Hanson Stadium. Glad you're with us. What a game this is. Hand to Hammond around right end. Zach to the 20. 15-yard line. 13. That's enough for a first down. Brooks Talbot finally in there to stop him, and also Hammond gave Jaden Hartwell a little bit of a stiff arm. But he gained 10 yards, and the Jimmies move those chains, and they're in the red zone. And they have first down, number 15. Dawson Schmidt is to the left on a slot. Roebuck to the right on 1st and 10 for Jamestown. Dickinson State 13. Now Hoffman in motion and a throw to the right for Roebuck. Reaches out. Another catch for Isaiah down to the 11-yard line. And then 4 Blue Hawks are what it takes to bring him down. But 2 more off Isaiah's 11th catch. on one of the biggest days a Jimmy receiver has had in quite a while. And that is the end of the third quarter, and the Jimmies driving right in it with a 17th ranked team in the country. At the end of 3 on the Gun and Reel Sports scoreboard at Hanson Stadium, Dickinson State 28, Jamestown 21. On Jamestown 107.1, this is the voice of the Jimmies.
Hey, this is Sean from the Jamestown Country Club. Thank you for a great season and the largest turnout ever for the FCCU Labor Day Classic. Congratulations to our champion, Brian Meyer. With that said, the Country Club is still open and enjoyable for great fall golf. Come out and enjoy a nice round of golf and a cool beverage before the season ends. And it's never too early to think about next year's season. The Country Club is offering memberships already. Be one of the first 75 people to sign up for next year and you'll receive 5 free guest passes.
Tom Hager, he's in here and he's looking at one of his baseball players too, and during the break he comes over and says, that's got to translate to catches in the outfield in baseball season. By the way, Isaiah Ropuck is only 2 short of the program record for receptions in a game. Micah Maydoon had 13 3 years ago against Dakota Wesleyan. Isaiah now has 11. Fourth quarter begins. 2nd down and 8 Jamestown. Dickinson State 11. Lights now on at Hanson Stadium. David Burrell, thanks for joining us. Ooh, isn't this been a nifty game? 28-21 Dickinson State. 2 receivers right and 1 to the left. John Grand back to throw from his 17. Left. There's another catch for Roebuck, but he slipped and he's down at the 12. Oh boy. Again, it's going to be a little slick. It is in some spots. That'll make it 3rd down. Down at the 8, not the 12. But it could have been a lot more. It could have been 6 points. But there's catch number 12 for Roebuck. Nate Burke, who caught a touchdown earlier, is to the right. And so is Gage Solano with Roebuck to the left. 3rd down. 5 at the 8-yard line of Dickinson State. That's a little pitch pass ahead to Roebuck, but he is stacked up at the 5-yard line. And there's that outstanding quarterback, Jaden Hartwell, who stayed right with him. Now it's 4th down. Now what? Kicking team. You're still in this game. This is not at all a bad decision, I don't think, to send Onan Peterson out there. It's a 7-point game. You've still got 13 minutes to go. You're rolling the dice if you go for the touchdown here. You want to depend on Peterson. He's 1 of 2 this year. Kicked a 32-yarder at Chadron State. Gage Solano the holder. Austin Stalin the snapper. Snap good. The hold good. The kick is right down the pipe. It's good, and it's a 4-point game. 2nd field goal of the year for Onan Peterson. 13:32 to play. The Jimmies are taking the 17th ranked team in the nation to the limit. Dickinson State 28, Jamestown 24, and Jamestown 107.1. This is the voice of the Jimmies.
Looking for a roofing company that truly knows your town? Choose Vetter Construction. Unlike those big name competitors using our city's name, we're your community experts right here working for you. From repairs to full replacement, our trusted team delivers quality and care that you can trust. For a roof that stands strong, call Vetter Construction today. 320-1990. 320-1990.
$13:32 to play on this gray, chilly day at Hanson Stadium. Peterson's kick running up on it is Brown. Look out for this guy. 24, 30, 35-yard line, and down at his 39. Sandiaros was in on the play. Now it's up to the Jimmy defense. Dickinson State with Nadler's touchdown pass to Gilbert the last time they had it. Out comes Will Madler. And he has Jackson Simonson in the backfield, and I wonder if Zuroff is hurt. We have not seen him in a while. 1st and 10 from their 40. And the run to the left side, they bring Austrie out of a wideout, and Will is around his 45 and out of bounds at the 47-yard line of Dickinson State at the Blue Hawk bench. Now, Austree's a return guy with good speed, the junior from Rosemead, California. But they send him to run the ball there. 2nd down, 3 after the gain of 7. Dickinson State from their 47. This rushing game for the Blue Hawks keeps chugging along. Blitz look, fake the handoff, throw to the left, wide and incomplete. And Ray Benners was the closest to that one and nearly had a pick. It was intended for Samaj Clark, but it wasn't that close to him. And if Benners had turned around in time, he would have had a pick. 3rd and 7. 3rd and 3 for Dickinson State. It is from the 47 of the Blue Hawks. Dickinson State today, 5 of 7 on 3rd down. Slot right, Samaj Clark. Wide right, Kyle Meineke. That's the wide side. Wing left. Clark is sent in motion from right to left. Stops on the right wing now. And Madler says go over a little further. Now takes the snap. Back to throw. Looking long left and incomplete, going for the tight end from Trenton Caden Houle. But out of his reach inside the 40-yard line of Jamestown. And it is 4th down for Dickinson State. Madler still out there for the moment. Now, here comes the punt unit. As Ty Nelson will come out to try to pin the Jimmies deep, but the Jimmies should have it back. Still, there's 12:50 to go. Ray Benners and Isaiah Roebuck are inside their 25. The other 9 coming up, but the Gunners do their job for Dickinson State. End over end kick, fair catch by Isaiah Roebuck at his 19. The Jimmies have it back, trying to upset the nation's 17th ranked team. They lead Dickinson State with 12:44 left in the Gunner Reel Sports scoreboard, 28-24.
Your home for UJ Jimmy, AM 1400 KQDJ Jamestown and 107.1 K296 HH Jamestown.
First and 10, Jamestown from their 19. A team that's playing the tail ends off today, man. Down 4 to Dickinson State. A 3-receiver stack to the left and 1 to the right. Handoff, Hammett. Zach to the 20, but maybe the 21, and that's all. Trying to move around right end. But the Blue Hawks were waiting, led by the former Blue Jay, Matt Anderson. Gain of 2. Anderson, steady career out in Dickinson. 17 tackles 3 years ago, 30 last year, 27 this year. Came into this game with 13. 2nd down and 8, Jamestown from their 21. 12:08 left. 28-24, Dickinson State on top. Graham with nobody wide, but receivers in the pattern. Throwing long right, and an outstretched Schmidt had it fall behind him at the Jamestown 45. Would have been a big play, but out of Dawson's reach to make it 3rd and 8. The Jimmies trying to move out of their own end. There's still 11:58 left, so there's a lot of time to go. And remember, we have Jimmy men's basketball later on for you here on Jamestown 107.1. With Casey Brueggemann in his head coaching debut as the Jimmies meet Briarcliff. So stay right here. BJ will join me for that one. Ethan Hoffman in motion to the right. Snap back to Grant. 3 receivers to the left. The throw's to the right, and it's overthrown and incomplete, going for Schmidt again at his 32, but that ball was 10 yards behind him. And it's 4th down. And coverage was made, too, by Cooper McLaughlin. So the punt unit on for Jamestown. It's Brooks Butt with Carson Hunter waiting at his 48. Jimmies would like a big kick here from Brooks. Here comes pressure, and Brooks is able to get away. A line drive kick and a fair catch taken at midfield by Carson Hunter. So Dickinson State in good field position. In fact, they'll spot it at the Jimmy 49. Can the Jamestown defense come through again? 11:47 left in the Gunner Reel Sports scoreboard. Dickinson State 28, Jamestown 24. The Jimmies have not beaten the Blue Hawks since 2007. It's a 16-game Dickinson State winning streak in this series. 1st and 10 DSU at the Jamestown 49. The snap is to Madler, and he hands off Simonson at left guard 48-47, just a couple. He stayed with him there. Grants, only a yard, in fact, to the 48. Simonson in there again. Again, we have not seen Zuroff since the first half, Braden Zuroff. And we've seen a lot of Brown, but we don't hear. 2nd and 9. Jamestown 48. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Madler puts it in the air down the middle. Incomplete and knocked out of his hand by Mason Parker. A big hit on Adrian Calderon separated him from the football. And it's 3rd and 9, and the redshirt junior from Mesa, Arizona just made a pretty nice breakup. 3rd and 9. Jamestown's 48 for DSU. They have 3 receivers to the right. That's the wide side. Shotgun for Will Madler. From his 44, sets the throw, good protection, going right, open is Clark, outstretched catch at the 28-yard line of Jamestown on a first down as he's out of bounds. When you want a big catch, that's where you go. The Rockland, California junior now has 6 catches today after he had 7 in the game in Dickinson. 10:45 left as the clock runs. Dickinson State with the ball in a 28-24 lead. 1st and 10 at the Jamestown 28. Clark wide to the left. Meineke to the right. Handed, it's Jackson Simonson. 25-yard line, 23. Rance is able to stop him, but a good first down gain for the Great Falls, Montana sophomore. Again, even if Jamestown can hold to a field goal here, there's still plenty of time. But the Jimmy defense is asked to come up with another stop. 2nd and 5. DSU at UJ's 23. 2 tight ends, Houle and Gilbert both in there. Gilbert on the wing to the right. Hand off to Simonson. Left guard 20, a lot of room. 15, 10. Flag is down. Simonson's down at the 1, but is this coming back? I think so. Big run by Jackson Simonson. We haven't seen many penalties, but this one could be hurtful for Dickinson State.
Holding. 58. Offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. 2nd down.
Yeah, that's hurtful indeed. That's William Rollins, the senior, the left tackle from Lakewood, Colorado, called for that hold. And instead of DSU having it at the Jamestown 2, Dickinson State is at the Jimmy 33, where it's 2nd down and 15. 9:58 still to go. Dickinson State 28, Jamestown 24. Clock runs again. Simonson beside Will Madler. Double wing again to the left for the Blue Hawks. Austrian motion to the left. Snap back to Madler. Little pressure screen. Didn't make it to Calderon. Looked like it hit the left guard, Edward Aranda Calixto. Of course, he can't catch it. Apparently it didn't hit him, or they would have called it. Anyway, it's 3rd and 15. But there's no way Calderon could have seen it because Aranda Calixto was in his way, and he's 6 feet tall and 300 pounds. 3rd and 15, Dickinson State. Jamestown's 33 of 28-24 of the Blue Hawks. 9:43 left. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. The snap is to Madler from his 42 of Jamestown. Catches left and then dropped by Samaj Clark, but he was out of bounds anyway. The Jimmy's defense does hold, and it's an odd spot on the field here for Dickinson State at the 33-yard line of Jamestown. Although Miller's a good kicker, he kicked a 48-yarder last year. This one would be about 50, but they're going to keep the offense out there. Pete Stanton rolling the dice a little here. 9:37 left. 4th and 15, Dickinson State at the Jamestown 33. Can the Jimmies make a 4th down stop? They rush 3 and drop 6. Madler throws right side and complete. He overthrew Austri near the Jamestown 10. The Jimmies have it back with 9:33 to go. I guess Pete Stanton didn't want to take the chance of having a kick blocked there, but Madler zipped it too high for Austri, and the Jimmies have it back. Down 4, 28-24. Trying to pull off what would be the upset of the year in this league. 1st and 10, Jamestown. They start from their 33. Receiver split each way. John Grand having his best day of the year for the Jimmies at quarterback. Powell in motion. Now Grand with a throw to the right. Diving, not quite able to make the catch at his 38. Was Nate Burke, who caught the touchdown earlier in the game. Burke's got quite a big target. He's 6'5". He's 215 pounds. From Cherokee Trail High School in Aurora, the Denver suburb. 2nd down and 10, Jamestown from their 33. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Hand is Zach Hammett at the 35, but no more because that hole at right guard was plugged up by Max Eaton and his friends from the Blue Hawks. They held him to 2. 3rd down and 8 now for Jamestown from their 35. 224 yards, by the way, for John Grand on 23 of 33. Isaiah Roebuck has tied the school record with 13 catches. He has 118 yards receiving today. 3rd and 8, Jamestown. The Jimmies at their 35. Down 4 with 8:48 to go. 3 receivers left, 1 to the right. Grand from his 27. Throws to the right off the hands and incomplete. Going for Burke again, and he was well covered too by Jaden Hartwell. 4th down, Jimmies at their own 35. They can't take a chance here. Brooks Buck and the punting unit are out there. Remember, we've got basketball on the way for you, men's basketball with Jamestown and Briarcliff. Tip-offs at 6 at Harold Newman Arena, so stay right here for it. But with the punt, and takes a little bit of a Dickinson State bounce, and the Jimmies will stop that at the Dickinson State 39-yard line, a 26-yard punt. Now it's up to the Jimmies' defense again to hold Dickinson State. Look at the stats as they are at the moment. 374 yards for Dickinson State, 194 yards rushing. 294 yards total for Jamestown, 224 passing for John Grand. 1st and 10, Dickinson State. Blue Hawks at their 39. 2 receivers to the right. Samaj Clark in motion from left to right. Make it 3 that way, but a handoff to Simonson. He's in there again, 40, 45-yard line, 48. Now you wonder about Brown. Here comes a flag, too, at the end of this. After the play ended, a flag in the middle of the pile of players at the tackle. Is somebody woofing or what? The gain was good. Jamestown may have just made it longer.
Personal foul, face mask, 56 yards added on to the end of the run. 1st down.
Oh, Jed Rance with a face mask. Ooh, that's 15 big yards to put Dickinson State, all the way at the 36-yard line of Jamestown. Oh, how hurtful that penalty could be. Just a 3rd of the day on the Jimmies. Receivers split each way and a wing right for Dickinson State. 1st and 10, Jamestown's 36. Simonson, round right end, 30. Tackle broken all the way down to the 24 before he's down by Rance, but it's a 1st down for Dickinson State. 8:05 still to go. But oh, did the Blue Hawks just get a lot, I hope, with that face mask penalty. And now another good run by Simonson. 1st and 10, Dickinson State, the Jimmies, 24. Receiver split each way. Madler, another handoff to Simonson, around right end, 20. And Grants is able to bring him down. And there's a flag down at the end of this play as Simonson is down inside the Jamestown 20. What now? Came from the back judge. 7:40 left. Is this one on the Jimmies too? We'll find out.
Personal foul, face mask, number 56, defense. Penalties half the distance to the goal, automatic, first down.
Just what you don't expect from what a player Jed Rance is, but oh boy. Another face mask puts it just inside the 10. It is 1st and goal for Dickinson State. Oh my goodness. Madler sends Clark in motion from left to right. Madler takes it himself around left hand. Tackle broken. 5. Still trying to make his way forward to the left corner. Touchdown for Will Madler. His 4th rushing score of the year. He broke one tackle and then spun out of another at the goal line. And 2 oh-so-hurtful face mask penalties aid the drive for Dickinson State, and their lead is 10. Chase Miller will try the extra point to make it an 11-point game. Snap good, hold good. Kicks on the way. It's good. 7:21 left. Now it is a 2-score game on the Gunner Real Sports scoreboard. Dickinson State 35, Jamestown 24. On Jamestown 107.1, this is the voice of the Jimmies.
Some of us were born to farm. Some diesels, like Cenex Premium Diesel, were born to fuel. Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster comes with a more complete additive package for a more complete burn to reduce particulate matter and keep filters cleaner for longer. Fuel your equipment like a pro with Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster and leave typical number 2 diesel to the amateurs. Cenex Premium Diesel. Diesel that doesn't mess around.
In only a minute 9, but 23 yards on that drive on face mask penalties by Jed Rance. Here's the kick from Chase Miller. Sends Roebuck back to his 9. Isaiah right side 10, 15, 20. Leaps over a man and is out of bounds at the 28. Well, Roebuck did that in Mayville last week too. You can't do that in high school, you know. Did you know that? I saw this happen in South Dakota. If you try to do that in high school football, you get a penalty. I saw that called last year, but not college, thankfully. Shouldn't be that way in high school, but never mind. First, and I saw Lincoln Keenels and Pierre try to do that, and he got called for a penalty. Anyway, not last year, about 3 years ago. Anyway, never mind. 1st and 10 Jamestown from their 29. Now they're down 2 scores with 7:16 left, 35-24. Grand with a throw left. There's Roebuck with a school record catch at his 32 before he's pushed back, but that is reception number 14 to break the program record for one game. Micah Maydoun had 13 catches against Dakota Wesleyan and Mitchell 3 years ago. And he's not terribly far from the receiving record. On 2nd down, a throw right by Grand is caught. This one's by Nate Burke for a 1st down. 3rd catch for Nate to his 41. Now, Jimmy's trying to go tempo here. 1st and 10 from their 41. We'll tell you about Roebuck's numbers in a bit. Hammett with a handoff. Only a yard to the 42 before he is stacked up by Riley Waters and others. For Isaiah now, 14 catches, the school record. Well, he is a bit away from the yardage record. 122 is what Roebuck has. Max Bowe in 2010 had a 243-yard receiving game at Wisconsin Stout. Stop down the middle, and the catch is made. Grand down the middle. There's Burke again. That tall target catches it at the 42-yard line of Dickinson State. First down. 5:50 left. Jimmy's got to move. They're down 35-24 to Dickinson State. First and 10, Blue Hawks 42. Grand throw right. And again, using that big frame, leaping up to catch it is Burke. Brought down by Hartwell, tried to strip the ball away too, but couldn't. And the Jimmy coaches are saying, come on, let's go. Down to 5.5 minutes to go. Gain of 8 to the 34-yard line of Dickinson State. 2nd and 2. Remember, Jamestown has only one timeout left. They had to use 2 of them in the third quarter. They do have the 2-minute timeout, too. Grand to throw. Lobs it right, going for Burke. Hartwell in his way and incomplete, but apparently legally there's no flag. And it'll be 3rd down and 2. And obviously here, 2 downs to make 2 yards for the Jimmies. Remember, stay right here. We have Jimmy men's basketball with Briarcliff coming up. P.J. Walters might have to get that started, but we'll be there too. 5:13 to go. But we'll have some fun tonight watching that Jimmy men's basketball team play. And this has been fun today. 3rd and 2 Jamestown at the Dickinson State 34. Play fake to Hammett. Grand, look out, pressure's coming. Throws before he's hit and down the middle and at the 15-yard line. Is it a catch? Yes, it is. A difficult one to be sure, but Nate Burke is depended on again. He was covered well by Hartwell. I don't know how he held on to that ball. The 10-yard line. And it's 1st and goal. Drop those chains. Grand's back to throw. 4:42 left and a roll to the right by John. Throws to the right corner of the end zone. Just threw that ball away. There was double coverage on Ethan Hoffman back there in the corner, and it's 2nd down and goal, and that stops the clock with 4:37 left. Still some time, but not a lot. But they do get that clock stopped. Austin Stalin and Lucas Andrews bring a play in. 2 tight ends. Nate Burke. Why did I remember? As I said, he's 6'5", so that makes a really big target. And Mr. Roebuck's to the left with his 14 catches today. 2nd down and goal at the 10-yard line of Dickinson State for the Jimmies. 4 to snap at 3, 2.
Oh, Dickinson State.
That's their first time out of this second half. We'll take it with 4:37 left. Dickinson State 35, Jamestown 24, and Jamestown 107.1. This is the voice of the Jimmies.
It's Zach here from Apex Physical Therapy and Wellness Center with exciting news that we are now open in our brand new location at 805 5th Avenue Northeast in Jamestown. That's right, we have a brand new space to help you out with your neck, back, hip, knee, shoulder pain, and so much more. It's the same great Apex you've loved, now with an incredible new space. If you haven't tried Apex, you really need to come see us. Give us a call today to come see us at 701-952-2739.
Good safe play by John Grant a moment ago to throw that ball away. Hoffman was well covered. So was Burke. Now it is 2nd down and goal for Jamestown at the Dickinson State 10. 4:37 left. Dickinson State leads this game 35-24. 2 receivers each way. Roebuck and Hoffman to the left. Burke's to the right with Encino. Grant takes the snap, throws him at 17, lobs at left corner. It is for Roebuck. Double coverage back there and incomplete. Knocked down by Ryan Rock, the freshman from Townsend, Montana. And very tight coverage, but legal there on Zay. 3rd and goal for Jamestown at the Dickinson State 10. They're down 2 scores, so it's 2 plays to score here for the Jimmies. But what do you do if you don't make it here? Do you kick or do you go for it? Well, we'll see. It's 3rd down first with a 4-receiver set, 3rd and goal at the DSU 10. Grant takes the snap from his 16. Throws to the left. It's behind Hoffman, and it's incomplete. And Grant was under pressure big time again, and now he's not up yet. Brooks Talbot brought him down, and then Talbot got jostled by a Jimmy after the, well, it's not Grant who's down. He's up, but a Jimmy is still down. And it's Hammett who was trying to block for Grant, and it was Hammett that Brooks Talbot leveled, but then came the woofing and I think a little shoving at the end of the play. Way after the end of the play, in fact. Now it's 4th down, but is it going to be at the 10? Probably not. We'll see, though. See what the referee tells us. Here's another flag. Right now, another flag. There's no way this is at the 10 because I think Jimmies are going to be set back.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 66, University of Jamestown. After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 24, Jamestown. 15-yard penalty. That is number 24's second unsportsmanlike penalty to the game. He is disqualified for the remainder of the contest.
Oh, Zach Hammett, who doesn't have a lot to say. He's a pretty quiet kid. Not in the football field, though, and he wasn't quiet enough there, and now he's done for the day. Not that the Jimmies might be running the ball a lot the rest of the way, but you still want to have him out there. Yeah, as you heard, the other one was on Brady Hoff. So both of these penalties are enforced because they're both dead ball fouls. So now it is 4th and goal at the 40 for Jamestown, and the Jimmies have no choice here but to go for it. 4:27 left. You got to keep your cool, and the Jimmies didn't there. It's a nickel package in the secondary for Dickinson State, and they're all at the 22-yard line or inside. They're still rushing 4, which surprises me a little bit. But the Jimmies have lost the services of Zach Hammett. He's got to leave the field, in fact. He can't stay on the sideline. If you're ejected from the game, you have to leave the field. Oh, boy. And as you know here, it's not close to the locker rooms. You got to go up that hill. 4th and goal, Jamestown. They're at the 40-yard line of Dickinson State after the 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. Back to throw is Grant. Left, another catch, Roebuck, 31, but that's all. As he is brought down by Cooper McLaughlin, and Dickinson State will have it back with 4:22 left. Roebuck extends the school record with his 15 catch. But Dickinson State will start at their 31, and the Blue Hawks are 4:22 away from wrapping up a 10th consecutive NSAA title. Now it's up to the Jimmy defense. Not only do they need a stop now, they need a takeaway. And everybody in the state knows what Dickinson State has to keep doing, and that's running. Keep that clock going. And Jamestown, remember, can only stop it one more time. They hand it. It's Simonson again. Left side, 35, 40. A lot of room. He's all the way to midfield. Parker Chafee brings him down, but not until he made it to the 48-yard line of the Jimmies. 21 yards. Dickinson State continues their tremendous day running the ball. First and 10, Jamestown's 48. 253 yards rushing, and now Madler is throwing and throws left, and it is caught, and it's out of bounds at the 30-yard line of Jamestown, and there's Gilbert, who caught a touchdown earlier, and Gage has another catch. And Dickinson State is just thinking, hey, look, it's time to put these guys away right here. 19 more yards to the Jimmies' 29, 3:35 remaining, the clock stopped after Gilbert went out of bounds with under 5 minutes to go. But
unsportsmanlike conduct, number 15, Dickinson State University. 15-yard penalty resulted dead ball, so it'll be first down and 10.
Well, you can't talk after plays, and the officials are, with the good ears today, are catching all of this. So they're not at the 29. They're back at the 39. But it is still first down and 10 for Dickinson State. 3:35 left. Dickinson State 35, Jamestown 24 on the Gunner Real Sports scoreboard. Yeah, not the 39. That wasn't in the right place. It's the 44. It's 15 yards. All right, now it's set, and it's first and 10. I'm shocked they went through the air. Let's see what they do here. Nope, they fake the Simonson. Madler's in trouble. Madler's down. Back at his 46. Daniel Erlinson, our halftime guest, in there to make the play. Why are they worried about throwing the ball? Pete Stanton knows a lot more about football than I do, and so does Russell McCarville, but you're at the point where you want to put the game away, and your running game's been fantastic, but they don't have Zuroff at the moment, and apparently they don't have Darian Brown either, and it's second down and 19 for Dickinson State. They're back at their 47. 3 receivers to the right. Nadler, they keep it on the ground with Simonson. Midfield, down to the 48-yard line of Jamestown. Jed Rance with the stop, and the Jimmies are going to stop.
Timeout. University of Jamestown.
And that's their final timeout. Hilderud Construction timeout. The gain was 4 to the 49-yard line of the Jimmies. So Jamestown can't stop the clock anymore. We keep it here on this Hilderud Construction timeout with 2:41 left. Remember, there is the 2-minute timeout. But Jamestown's slim hopes in this game, and they are slim now, depend on whether they can make a stop right here. Third down, Dickinson State will have 15 coming up at the Jamestown 49. They need the Jimmy 34 for a first down. .248 yards rushing today for the Blue Hawks and 447 yards of offense. They averaged .379 in total offense for the year coming in. But now they might have to put it in the air. On 3rd and 15 at Jamestown's 49, and 3 receivers are to the right. Calderon, Meineke, and the most dangerous Samaj Clark. Simonson in the backfield beside Will Madler, who runs straight ahead. Good play to get this to the 2-minute timeout. Stopped after a couple to the 47 by Mason Parker, and Dickinson State doesn't have to snap it again before the 2-minute timeout. It'll be 4th down and 13 now, but the Blue Hawks will let this clock run down. Madler does come to the near the line. They're just going to try and draw Jamestown off here. 2:05 to go, and they don't have to snap it. And they do not, and we're at the Hilderud Construction.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
Timeout. 2 minutes to go at Hanson Stadium. Dickinson State trying to hang on and win their 10th straight conference title. Leads Jamestown on the Gunner Real Sports scoreboard 35-24 on Jamestown 107.1. This is the voice of the Jimmies.
Need some custom screen printed t-shirts? Lots of t-shirts? You need originals.
Originals!
Or do you just need one shirt with your corporate logo for the new guy?
Originals!
Caps, jackets, U sizes, adult sizes, Blue Jay apparel, Jimmy apparel. You need originals. There you have it, folks. For custom printed apparel, embroidery, and work apparel, it's Originals. They can also do online stores for your sports team or business. 216 First Avenue, downtown Jamestown. Open 9 to 5 weekdays. Visit originals.com.
After the 2-minute timeout, Dickinson State will keep their offense on the field. Isaiah Roebuck has to run off fast. He thought they'd go into punt formation, but they don't. 4th down, 13 at the 47-yard line, and they quick kick it. That's what I thought they might do. Madler does, takes a bounce at the 19-yard line and down there by Dickinson State. So, the odds are long here for Jamestown. We're giggling up here because Caden Houle made a diving play to down that with about a 9-yard headlong leap. Anyway, Jamestown is at their 21, but again, they've got to score twice. Down 35-24 to Dickinson State with 1:53 left. Stay tuned. I think BJ's going to have to get this started, but he'll start you off bringing you Jimmy men's basketball against Briarcliff at Newman Arena and Casey Brueggemann's head coaching debut. 4 receivers set for Jamestown, 1st and 10 from their 21. Fake the handoff, throw long down the left side. He wants Encino, and he makes the catch at the 37-yard line of Dickinson State. Covered there by McLaughlin, who brought him down. Jimmies can't stop the clock. It is stopped, or it should be. The chains are moved. Yeah, the clock wasn't stopped. They've got to stop that clock while the chains are going. Well, the chains have to be moved into place, and we may have an adjustment on how much time is left.
1 minute, 41 seconds on the game clock. 1 minute, 41 seconds.
That's correct. So they'll reset it to that. Now it's there, and we're ready to go again. 1st and 10 at the Dickinson State 35 for Jamestown. Down 11, they have to score twice. 3 receivers right and 1 to the left, and I mean 8 and 3. Grand with a throw left. Caught another one for Roebuck. 25, 20, and down at the 19 as Hartwell had his hands around his ankles. Roebuck has catch number 16 to ascend the school record. 1st and 10 and a spike by Grand. To stop that clock with 1:29 to go. He's broken the school record by 5 receptions, Isaiah Roebuck, today. That's 16 now for 148 yards. It's 2nd down and 10 Jamestown at the 18-yard line at Dickinson State. Well, even if the score stays in Dickinson State's favor, this is one of the best efforts of the year for the Jimmies. 2 receivers each way. They have played the 17th ranked team in the country off their feet. Snap to Grand, looks to the right, throws to the right. Jump ball on the right side, out of the end zone anyway for Burke and incomplete. 3rd down and 10 at the DSU 18 with 1:23 left. Now, we've seen Burke in action in other games, of course. But before today, Big Tall Nate hadn't made any catches. He has 6 today, including 1 for a touchdown, 110 yards. And he's wide to the right, along with Encino and Hoffman. And wide to the left is Roebuck on 3rd and 10 for Jamestown at the Dickinson State 18 with a 35-24 DSU lead and 1:23 to go. Snap to Grand from his 24. Left, Roebuck open. 10, 5, knocked down. Is he in? He is! Touchdown Jamestown! Catch number 17 for Isaiah is his 2nd touchdown catch. McLaughlin tried to cut him down before he made the end zone, but he's in. And now it is 35-30, and the Jimmies have to go for 2. And then you know what will come after this, no matter what happens on this 2-point conversion, with 1:18 left. Again, stay tuned, please. We'll have Jimmy men's basketball following a most truncated Armstow postgame. Snap to Graham with a 2-point conversion try. Here comes a flag. And the play stops.
Part of the snap. Full start. All 11 players were not snapped for the snap of the ball. 5-yard penalty. Continue the try.
So that'll take it back to the 8-yard line. Roebuck with 2 more touchdown catches today after the one last week. 17 now for his Jimmy career. A school record 17 receptions, 166 yards. The try for 2 now from the 8-yard line. Slots for 2 receivers to the right and 2 to the left. John Grand waits for the snap. has it, throws to the right. In the right corner, it's too far for Burke. The two-pointer no good. It keeps the Dickinson State lead at 5, 35-30, but everyone knows what's coming next. Jimmies have to try an onside kick. Now they still got to score one more time. But they have to gain this onside kick first. If they don't, Dickinson State will just run the clock out because Jamestown's out of timeouts. 5 plays, 74 yards. In only 35 seconds, the Jimmies move quickly and score. And the numbers for Grand today now, 32 of 49, 372 yards. So he's just short of his career high. And 3 touchdowns. He had 3 touchdowns in that big passing game last year against Morningside. He only had 2 this season before today. Well, the hands team's up for Dickinson State. The onside kick coming. There are 4 to the left for the Jimmies. It goes 10 yards, and it goes out of bounds. And Dickinson State will run out the last 78 seconds and wrap up another conference title.
Kick out of bounds. Kicking team. 5-yard penalty from where it went out of bounds. First down.
You have the option there to make him kick it again or take the ball. And obviously, in this case, Dickinson State takes the ball. And all they have to do is kneel down a couple of times. And they will ensure themselves another conference championship. And the first kneel down by Madler. Dickinson State will now be 74-4 in games in this conference. They've never lost at home in the league. We told you that when we were out there. And it is an amazing streak of 10 in a row that will be official in 53 seconds. Just wait a few more seconds, and they only have to snap it one more time. Madler does, and it is over. Death taxes are sure things. So's Dickinson State winning the NSAA. They are, for the 10th straight time and the last time, the champions of NSAA football. But oh brother, that the Jamestown Jimmies give them a tussle today. Final score at Hanson Stadium on the Gunner Reel Sports scoreboard. The Dickinson State Bluehawks 35, the Jamestown Jimmies 30. We'll have a very, very short Armstout postgame show next, and then take it to Jimmy basketball. In Jamestown 107.1, this is the voice of the Jimmies.
Buffalo City Diesel Jamestown is your one-stop shop for experienced truck services. Their top-notch techs are trained in the latest technology and can identify and fix problems in your medium or heavy-duty diesel trucks and buses. Buffalo City Diesel also offers roadside assistance, trailer services, and truck parts. Call Buffalo City Diesel today at 701-253-2844. That's Buffalo City Diesel at 701-253-2844.
The Frontier Fort invites you in for a true Dakota Territory dining experience. This unique location looks like an authentic 1800s fort. Head upstairs and you'll be greeted with the mouth-watering aroma of freshly grilled ribeyes and barbecued ribs. They're open from 4 to 9 Monday through Saturday, and their legendary prime rib is served on Fridays and Saturdays. Now hiring a full-time or part-time cook. Call 252-7492. The Frontier Fort, on the road to the Buffalo, Jamestown.
The Armstout postgame show, and we'll bring you more information later on during our basketball coverage, as they're about 16 minutes away from tip-off at Harold Newman Arena, so B.J. Walters will get that started, and we'll join him when we can. But what a game the Jimmies play, but they fall short 35-30 to Dickinson State as the Blue Hawks clinch their 10th consecutive NSAA regular season championship. Will Madler with 199 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. 1 to Samaj Clark, 1 to Gage Gilbert. Touchdown runs for Darian Brown, Braden Zuroff, and Will Madler also for Dickinson. But for Jamestown, John Grant's best day of the year passing, 32 of 49, 372 yards, 3 touchdowns. Zach Hammett had a touchdown run. Isaiah Roebuck with 2 of those touchdown catches. Nate Burke with 1. But for Roebuck, a school record, 17 catches. He had 166 yards receiving. The bye next week, the second bye for Jamestown, and their last one before the last, at least for now, meeting for the Paint Bucket with VCSU. They were winners today, by the way, over Mayville State 10-6, but the Vikings come here 2 weeks from today, Saturday, November 16th, and we'll have it for you at 12:30. Stay tuned, Jimmy men's basketball very shortly, coming up from Harold Newman Arena. Our thanks to Sagan Osborne and head coach Pete Stanton of Dickinson State, and the Jimmies SID, Ryan Michelson, and head coach Brian Mistro and his staff. I'm David Pearl. Jamestown made it tough, but Dickinson State walks away with the win and the NSAA regular season title. Final score on the Gun and Reel Sports Scoreboard at Hanson Stadium, Jamestown 35, or I should say Dickinson State 35 and Jamestown 30 in just a few moments. Jimmy men's basketball. Till then, thanks for listening. So long for a few moments from Hanson State.
Jamestown Jimmies football has been brought to you by Creative Energy and Dan Superstop, Dakota Central, Hugo's Family Marketplace, Otter Tail Power Company, Professional Eye Care Centers, The Frontier Ford Grill, Unison Bank, Hillerud Construction, SMP Health Ave Maria, Gun and Reel Sports, Essentia Health, Farmers Union Insurance, Steve Benyon Agent, Jamestown Country Club, Originals, Apex Physical Therapy, Jamestown Parks and Recreation, Johnny B's Brickhouse, Buffalo City Diesel, Vetter Construction, RM Stout, and Pit Stop Express Lube. The preceding has been a presentation of the Voice of the Jimmies, Jamestown 107.1.